Hello, one and all. Welcome to another live stream edition of the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew, and tonight I'm joined by the full crew again. Right beside me, we have Dave. On the other side of the screen, we have Belle. And then underneath me, we have Conrad. And next to Conrad, we have Jeff. So, hello, one and all. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully, you're having a great week so far. Whatever you're doing, it is nearly the weekend. So, this is your pre-weekend celebration to get stuck into things. If you're here, say hi, all the usual stuff. And there's reference tracks for you to check out in the description of this one in case you're tuning in later on and you miss things as we go through in the chat, as we go through live. As always, there's a lot to get through. We have Master of Reality from Black Sabbath going up against California Crossing from Manchu in the battle tonight. We're going to go through picking albums from 1993 in our album collection. I'm doing Guess a Song this week. I've got an interesting one there. We'll see how that one goes. Got all the usual stupidity as well, so make sure you jump in, say hi, and get involved in all of our antics as we go through things here tonight. Andrew's here saying g'day all, so good to see you. Same with Sally, good to see you as well. If you're here, make sure you say hi, folks. But yeah, it's been another week and we're here to go again. So speaking of it being another week done and dusted, Dave, let's do the rounds. What was your highlight of the week? There's a bit of
well, it certainly wasn't as eventful as the previous week, but the car's still fucked. That's a whole fucking. So I unfortunately have to drive my boss's Mercedes. It's really inconvenient and so forth. Just struggling. Life is hard. Fucking that baby can go. Apart from that, really not all that much happening. It was fucking really hot on Monday and Tuesday, and most people around me are fucking dying. I'm just bouncing off the walls because I love it. And I work in a factory that's like 10 degrees hotter than normal. So, yeah, I'm happy with that shit. But apart from that, life is just being the usual busyness that it is. So, how are you, Belle?
I'm fine. I got nothing.
Wow, you sounded fine. Wow. I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed. Here we go.
I'm not depressed at all. I'm just.
Hi, welcome to the Hard Rock Show. We're going to be hanging for the next hour. More of that, Belle.
I'm working on the happiness. No,
I've been working on it for an hour.
Nothing's happened this week. I had a bunch of tradesmen here and they made a freaking mess and broke some shit and then fixed it again, and I had to run around after them today to go and buy a new water pump because the plumber broke the one that we had, which wasn't being replaced. He was just moving something else, broke the water pump, so
that's not good.
What does this do? Oops, sorry.
Yeah, when you're on paper, that's bad. Yep.
It was an emergency. It was an emergency purchase. So I don't know. That's as exciting as it got this week.
Woohoo!
Still looking forward to the weekend. It's closer now. That's been keeping me going.
In Flames, not far away.
Not too far. Fly out on Saturday morning.
Yep.
So really looking forward to it. I know they played in Melbourne last night, so I had a bit of a sneak peek at the playlist because I'm thinking it might be similar.
Yeah. Where are they playing?
So they played in Melbourne last night at, I don't know where they played actually.
It's the Forum.
Forum with Creator,
yeah. It's a fucking good venue.
It's a great venue.
At the Enmore. Jeff, they're playing at the Enmore.
And we're in Sydney. Good venue.
In Sydney, yeah.
I've been there a few times. The Enmore.
I've seen some really good concerts there. Most notably Incubus. Incubus were fantastic.
They're a great live band. They're a great live.
Really good. So I'm on the floor. Not up in that. I don't know if anyone's been up on there's like really one kind of big upstairs area, and it wobbles like a motherfucker, especially at metal concerts because everyone's jumping.
That's nice.
But I think last year, sometime I think it was, the floor collapsed at a show. Really? I remember reading about it. I'm sure.
You're going to be nice on the floor. Yeah.
So at least it was the floor and not, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was a big stand. But I guess they fixed it, so
must have.
That's it. that's it for me. I don't know
Cool.
who's next. Jeff.
All right,
maybe?
Jeff, let's go to you next.
All right. Yeah, my week pretty boring. Although whatever day it was that was really, really hot, the one that Dave really loved, because it was 2 days in a row. And so I went to bed that night thinking, okay, it's going to suck, because the air conditioning is in the lounge room and it doesn't reach my bedroom. And so I sleep with my door shut anyway.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't want people, if anybody's walking around fucking gawking in or whatever.
Because he's just waiting for the dance, man.
Yeah.
This is the same guy who turned his camera off to change his hat, folks. So just keep that in mind.
Very modest.
I'm wearing, but
Very
I
modest.
don't really necessarily want to share my shorts with you pervs. So,
Jeff's not wearing pants, everybody.
I
I'm not
want to
wearing
see
pants.
them now.
I'm not. They're just Hawaiian shorts. But anyway.
Oh, definitely want to see them.
I'll stand up at some point.
Stand up.
I'll share. Yeah. So anyway, look. So I couldn't sleep. I tried toss and turn, and it was like a night of fucking. It was just terrible. My fans was blowing hot fucking air. So I'm thinking, okay, should I go out and try sleeping on the couch? I can turn the air conditioner on. I can sleep on the couch. But the problem is my couch. I've got one of those weird. It's like an L-shaped couch, right? And it's sectional, and I had rearranged it in such a way that the only part that's not like a lazy boy chair is just small little L-shaped thing. So you'd have to bend like a fucking pretzel to lay in it. You can sit in it fine, but you couldn't build. So I'm like, I can't lay on the ground floor because it's fucking tile. Like it'd be hard and fucking very uncomfortable. So I'm like, oh my god. So no sleep. Needless to say, no sleep. So I got up, I worked. I don't know how I fucking did it. And then I thought, well, I've got to stay awake basically till late, because if I go to sleep now, I'm going to be up at like 2 a.m. and I'm going to be bouncing the walls. So I forced myself to stay awake, and then I fucking started getting sick. I started like I'm literally now I've had like no sleep in like 48 fucking hours. So I'm like, oh my god. So those 2 days were fucking terrible, but here I am. I got through it. I'm feeling good now, though. So yeah, something must have happened. Yeah,
had a nap.
I felt crap on the Wednesday when the weather turns and it was all cold and miserable and dreary and overcast.
Give me that any day of the week.
Fuck that.
It's Canadian summer. Fuck you. I love that shit.
You're lightweight.
Yeah. I'm with you, Jeff. I like that.
Fuck that.
Summer. I'll take it any day. See, the thing is, when you're hot, it's a motherfucker to get cool. But if you're cold,
you don't have to. That's the thing. You don't have aches and pains when it's hot. In fucking winter, it's just like, ow, everything hurts. But in summer, everything's flexible. And so just enjoy it. Do things. Drink lots of water and get active.
5 minutes in Canada. You would last 5 fucking minutes in the winter. You'd be fucking ready.
I would curl up in a little fucking ball and die in Canada.
Yes, and you'd be crying.
40 degrees, man. Drink lots of water, get active. Do anything. Play guitar, run around, do something. Just get fucking active. And it isn't that bad. And then you're so exhausted, you sleep easily. That's how you deal with summer.
Yeah, a fan blowing.
You sit around bitching about it, and that's all you feel is miserable.
No, thank you. It was shit. So you won't convince me of it. But anyway, I just want to say to Andrew, I know this will come back around. Congratulations, my friend, on your lovely win. And now over to Conrad.
Yep.
I had a radio show yesterday. I guess that was the highlight of my week so far. Was my show. I think I posted. Did I post it to the page?
It posted on the wall, but wall posts don't work as well as they used to do. It's not really.
I didn't see it.
I did save the photos, so I will put a post up for you on that one too. So
yeah. Because the artwork's pretty. A mate of mine did the artwork for the show, and it's pretty cool. I'll put it in the chat for you guys, maybe.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, have a look at the artwork. It's pretty cool. I like what he did. I think what he did was cool. Other than that, AC/DC tickets go on sale here tomorrow.
Ooh, yeah, nice.
AC/DC here in July. I don't know if they're touring Australia.
No, not yet. It's just the 21 European dates so far.
Yeah. So I'm picking those. I'm grabbing those tomorrow.
I don't know. I can't get excited about it.
Which is going to be quite expensive.
It will be expensive.
They're about £145 here, I think.
So about $300 here. Yeah,
it's a lot of money. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm probably going to be going, no doubt. Yeah.
Where are they playing?
Wembley Stadium. They're doing 2 nights at
that would
Wembley.
be cool.
2 nights at
Nice.
Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
So they're doing a Wednesday and a Sunday. So it should be good. Looking
Cool.
forward to it. Yeah.
Nice.
Agreed. Anyway, that's something from me.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, mine's short and sweet. Highlight of the week is obviously the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl yet again. I think it was Vinny.
Okay.
I think it was Vinny in Discord said, "Am I sick of winning yet?" No, not at all. The first time a team goes back to back in almost 20 years, and now it's hopefully going for a three-peat, which has never been done before. So we'll see what happens. Brett Beach working magic in the off season. Yeah, three-peat's never been done. So if the Chiefs can do it, it'll be the first time ever. So it's on the cards. Have to see how we go, but got to do a lot of off-season stuff because the salary cap needs to be managed. So we'll see what happens. But that was obviously the highlight of the week for me, sitting around getting day drunk watching the game. So that's always fun for me.
Day drunk's awesome.
Day drunk is good.
Eddie drunk is awesome.
Yeah, I know. But aside from that, just been a regular week, all good. But that was the highlight. The only thing I want to say on that is two things. One, I know a lot of people down south have been impacted by the storms in Melbourne and the power outs and all that kind of stuff there. So hopefully everyone is healthy, happy, and as well as you can be in the circumstances. Hopefully power is back sooner rather than later for those that still don't have it. So I just want to put a shout out to those. So I know my family down there have been definitely impacted by lack of power down there. So hopefully everyone's doing well. And the other thing too, just a quick sour note here, is that the fuckers in the United States, it was Super Bowl parade today.
Oh,
and for those that didn't hear, you fuckers, another shooting at an event like that. And kids, you shot kids, you pieces of shit. Fuck you. I'm sorry, our American friends. Fix your shit. Fix your shit. It's
bonkers.
Because seriously,
how many bullshit excuses can you come up with?
This is not an excuse anymore. This is who you are. If you don't fix it, this is who you are. So own it and go with it.
I wasn't even surprised when I heard about it, which is really sad because people fucking died. I wasn't surprised at all.
Yeah. 2 within the space of a week, isn't it? It was
3 in 2 days over there, or something like that.
Oh man,
it's even worse than
there
that.
are already over 300 shootings this year, and we're only in February.
Yeah. So anyway, not going to harp on it. Just wanted to acknowledge that happened over there, and just say my sympathies with those impacted by that, and hopefully, things can be as okay as they can be sooner rather than later. But we'll see how that plays out. All right, we got some comments. Let's go through them. Gear is here saying hello from Norway and Viking Queen. Good to see you, our friend. Hopefully you're well. Rowan is here as well, giving us the horns as usual. Nicole's here. Evening all. Good to see you both. Same with Edge Crusher. Good to see you as well. Vinny says, evening gang. Got my Slamfest tickets. Looking forward to body slamming Swifties this weekend. Enjoy, mate.
You know how much I want to be there? And they just announced there's a fucking pop-up to a concert of Heat, Cruel Intentions, and Sisters Doll in Footscray. That would be fucking amazing, but I can't go to any of it. Fuck, those 3 bands would be the reason I would go to Glamfest, and I can't go, and I can't go to the sideshow. But fucking, I'm just burying my head in the sand, burying my head in this shit.
There's a comment I'm going to get to quickly here. Michael says, "Good evening, all. Hope all are well. We are doing well. Hopefully, the same for you. Same with Sally. Says a forum. That's where we discussed it before. Peter, how you going, Pete? Hey, Andrew, Jake, and I went to Blind Guardian on Friday. I hope that was fucking epic.
How was it?
Hopefully, you are all keeping well down there. For those that don't know,
sorry to interrupt. Did Blind Guardian play Valhalla for 1 hour? Because last time they were here, in between every song after they played Valhalla, the crowd just started singing the chorus in between every song. And he says, next time we come, we're just going to play Valhalla for an hour. So I don't think he would have done that, but that was a fucking cool moment.
But anyway,
cool song.
For those that don't know, I used to work with Pete and Jake. That's where I was doing the printing stuff before I moved up here. So a big hello to Pete and Jake. So yeah, good to see you. Hopefully you had a great time. Yeah, let us know. Dave wants to know. Andrew is here. Crater and In Flames was intense last night at the forum. Was a great night. So there we go.
Nice.
Vinny says, I see you're advertising Kelsey's IQ behind you, Andrew. Congrats on the win. Just bombs in my mouth. No, I don't know about that, mate. He's doing pretty well for himself, so we'll take that. Jolly's here as well. Good to see you. Saying hi, all.
Hey, Jolly.
Let them look, Jeff. Morning wood could look majestic in Hawaiian shorts. There we go.
Yeah, show it.
Fuck's sake.
Oh, here we go. Show and tell. Here we go.
All right, you happy?
Need the mood music. It's funny now because Marco's just gone short. But other Michael's gone, hey, all good to see you as well. Trevor, good to see you. What's not to fucking love? Anything and everything. What do we got? Benjamin says, laugh my ass, I'm 6 foot, 136 kilos, so I need a fucking big couch. Well, yeah, you would. There we go. Vinny says, agree with Dave. No arthritis in my penis in summer. Well, if you've got arthritis there, you've got other problems to worry about, I would argue. PP says, support from New Zealand. Good to see you again, as always, our friend. Michael says, my work is in Mount Waverley, which took a direct hit in the storm between Clayton South and Glen Waverley. We were literally...
Clayton got fucking trashed, man.
To the roads and traffic lights out of the intersections to make for fun adventure. Yeah, not fun.
Wow.
Yeah, no, the fucking trees down everywhere, Clayton.
But yeah, again, stay safe out there. Shit's gone nuts. Edge Crusher, looking forward to Riot City on Sunday night. I bet you are. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Benjamin's gone, my Lola was breaking my hand on a big belligerent, bad-tempered drunk guy's face yesterday. Punched the dick right off his bicycle. Shattered my right hand, though.
That would have been...
Okay. He punched the dick off his bicycle. That's fucking impressive. But ouch, dude.
Yeah, ouch. Good luck. Hopefully that recovers quickly, especially with the
if he broke your hand, how was that guy's fucking face? I want to know that.
We'll find out, I'm sure. What do we got here? Nicola says, nice win to the Chiefs. Yeah, no, I'll take it every day of the week. Michael says, Blind Guardian were fantastic. I didn't get much time to soak it all in before going off to the next concert the next night. So there we go.
Dude.
Awesome.
They're a fucking great band live.
It's a great band.
Yep. Yeah. Well, Peter hasn't answered the question, but he has said at Glamfest I'd only go to see Vane. Now, Pete was at the last Glamfest too, for those that don't know. So
did I meet you? I met somebody. Somebody demanded a photo, a selfie in the toilet, which was weird. I've never had that happen to me before.
That wasn't me.
We hung out all Glamfest. We didn't get a photo anywhere. We didn't do it.
We hung out.
Yeah, you two hung out, but there was no selfies in the toilet.
I didn't follow you into the bar.
The place where I was actually hanging out is where somebody wanted a photo.
Did not follow you into the bathroom.
What was it?
I thought that was just a girls thing.
No, guys hold hands.
Selfies in the toilet.
No. Anyway. Guy is here saying, greeting rockers across the plane. Good to see you as well.
I do.
Yeah, Ben's gone, we're playing guitar for a while. I was thinking about that when you said you broke your hand. Yeah, guitar playing's going to be difficult.
I'll play one-handed, dude. Come on.
He goes, he retired and went home. So that was the answer to the guy's face. But Andrew says, also, Catatonia were excellent on Saturday night at the Croxton. Great show. The Croxton is a fantastic venue. I'm sure Catatonia would have been great. Their last album was fantastic early last year. It was a fucking banger of a release. All right, let's have some fun here. Let's get into the songs of the week. That's where we start these shows each and every week. This is a new format this time around. We're going to be going through. We've got one song each to go through. These have been nominated by some people behind the scenes, including ourselves and our Patreon supporters, and we randomly assigned these songs as the week went on to give us all one to process and go through. So, yeah, that was how it worked, and I get to go first this time around. So, Belle, you're jealous because I got the one that you put forward, I think, or someone. So it's a little band that Dave and Belle absolutely adore called In Flames. There's a link in the comments now, and it's also in the description box if you miss it. But In Flames with a new song called Become One, which is it was like a Japan only release track, I think. It's from a special anniversary now edition of the album Foregone from the Swedish band. It's 1 year old, and they've released a bonus track edition of it. It also coincides with the band touring here, which is all why it's very, very topical. Like I was saying, I know that Dave and Belle are the absolute diehards for this band, but honestly, whatever, like they're impressive. They're going to get your attention pretty bloody quick. It makes sense as a bonus track for me. It's still a really damn good song. Not quite sure if it would have enhanced or not the album kind of thing, but it makes perfect sense as a bonus track. It has everything you want from the band. It's heavy, it's melodic, it's got everything in between. If you know these guys, you know what you're going to get, and this song will make you very happy very quickly. Like I said, if you're a fan already, this will please you. But for me, this is what I love about the genre of this style of music overall. It puts me in mind of Aussie bands like Orpheus Omega, Triple Kill, and others of that ilk. But there's a big hook in the chorus, a really fantastic hook, which is what makes this instantly memorable and makes it stand out, especially in this genre of music. There's a lot of this style of music around, but this band really does stand out in the best ways possible. And as is par for the course with these guys, there's some great lyrics in this song as well. Where the traditional breakdown moment would be for a lot of the bands that, is more generic, so to speak, without that being a derogatory term. It's just that, an observational piece. There's a nice touch of harmony and space instead of having, the traditional breakdown. So that gear change is another thing that makes this band stand out overall. It also makes this song get your attention and say, okay, cool. That isn't what you expect, and it works really nicely against the rest of the song as well. There's plenty of space and melody overall, especially in the chorus, but that little moment was a really, it's a good centerpiece there. Long story short, you should already be over these guys. I think they're a fantastic band. I know that Dave and Bill, like I said before, love them to bits, but they're winning me over every time I hear something new from them. So if you like it heavy, melodic, and groovy, check it out. It is a great fucking track. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. Edge Crusher has answered the question. They didn't, Dave, so they didn't play the song for now. So there we go.
Missed opportunity.
And Ben says that singing reminds me of Araya a little bit. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I can get that. I also thought of bands like Harlot from Melbourne and that too, but not quite as much. Alrighty, next up, that's me done. So next off the ranks is going to be Jeff. So he got assigned a song called Sick from a little band out of Monterrey, Mexico.
Sick. Really? Oh, I'm just kidding. I guess.
Okay.
Could you be feeling sick this week?
Hey,
yes.
That
works
How
well.
good are the warning? The warning's fucking good.
But yes, we have The Warning from Monterrey, Mexico with their latest single, Sick. Mexican three-piece. This continues to run on new music. I'm not sure about a new album or anything at this point in time. I'm pretty sure there's others like Michael Gow that might know more about that than I do at this point in time. But Jeff, how'd you go?
All I have to say is all hail Mexico. I'm really glad I actually got to review this song tonight because I actually like these guys a lot. And I've been a fan of these guys for quite a while. I discovered them on YouTube. I don't know. It came up in my feed years back. They were playing some live thing. And I was like, wow, these girls are really tight. So, yeah. Three sisters from
I was waiting for that. I knew there'd be a reaction to that.
Okay. That's not where my brain was going, but okay, but from the enormous talent from, as they call it, Mexico, okay? So, look, I'm just going to risk a pun here, and I'm just going to say that the song Sick is a sick song. It is. Yeah, but boom. So, I mean, that, you had to expect it, right? I know it's cheese, but it works.
It's there.
Everyone loves cheese and bacon. It's the two things everyone loves. Anyway, so even fucking vegans love bacon. You do, because you try to buy the fake shit that tastes like bacon. I know you do, Belle. So come on.
That's shit.
Yeah, I know. Well, because they can't get it. That's the problem. But anyway, look, don't even get me talking about beef rice that I just read.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Yeah, that's this. So scientists have invented beef rice. They actually grow the beef molecule inside the rice. You can Google this. It was done in Korea. It's pink. Yep. So they use
fucking cow. They use those animals, kill it and eat it.
No. So this is actually, they're using stem cells from cows. They're not actually killing cows to do it, which is kind of cool. So it may actually say it.
They're going to get killed anyway. They're bad for the environment.
No, this is
why are we talking about this?
I don't know. We're going everywhere tonight.
Come on, focus. Stay on point.
I'm going to focus on Sick because you guys, yeah. Anyway, look, the song has got everything. It's got great groove, upbeat melody, lends itself to the idea that the song is really going to rip your throat out or get you out on the dance floor. It has it all. So I think that this song, somehow it's like an anthem, really, and it maintains yet a pop sensibility. Does that make sense? And I think that helped it transcend expectations. A song like this really could enter the pop charts. It could, and it would do well. Not that it needs to, however, because, as we all know, pop music's shit. But if you get more people listening to something because it sort of breaks down those barriers, that's a good thing. And so I think that would be great. Now, Dave may agree or disagree, but I think at times...
I disagree.
Okay, well, let me ask the question first. I think at times that this song particularly reminded me actually of Måneskin. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Well, I thought that it did. I thought that it really had something in there that was.
I'll ask my daughter tomorrow, and then that's the definitive answer.
Yeah. What you do is you tell her that this is a. Tell her that this is a.
Actually, no. She likes the warning. She likes the warning.
Anyway. Oh, she knows the song. Okay. Well, I was going to say if you told her that this was like an unreleased track from some like one of the bass player, the girl singing, say this is her singing. And what
she's not that stupid. I can't get that over her.
Well, you can try.
She would know. She knows every fucking video they've ever released, every interview, every TikTok short. She knows.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see if you can fool her then. That'll be the challenge.
No, I can't. I seriously can't. She's analyzing lyrics for Christ's sake.
All right.
And I'm horrified.
He's mini Dave. He really is mini Dave.
Dave.
Yeah, she's like the live version that they did of Ziti Iborno for Eurovision. She's listening to that. She's listening to the album version. She goes back and forth. She's like, Dad, on the live version they pause for 3 seconds. In the album version they pause for 7. I'm like, you're ready for Dream Theater
now.
Holy shit!
Oh boy, Dave, have fun. You're about to experience what all of us go through every week.
Yeah, I've started teaching her the right charts.
Comes around.
We've been going through songs, counting beats for each section of a song, like the intro, the chorus, the verse, the pre-chorus. We're discussing, like, is this the pre-chorus, or is it part of the verse, or is it part of the chorus? Yeah, she's learning pretty fucking quickly.
Yep.
Sorry,
right.
Jeff. You're done.
Jeff, keep going.
Okay, look, all I was going to say, I'm pretty much done, but all I was going to say is that
that's mad.
The Warning has there's only three of them in this band, right?
Yeah.
The drummer, the bassist, and the guitar player, and the
Yep.
they're all 3 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
They have somehow found a way to produce a sound that is bigger than what they are or what they appear to be, which is really cool. Everyone knows that I have an affinity or a love for a 3-piece band.
Yeah,
they're tight.
That's right. And so this sound is bigger than what they appear to be. And I think if people listen to them and not knowing that it's 3 sisters and then saw pictures of there's only 3 of them, they might actually be surprised. So I hope that this song, it's a great song. And I hope that it leads to an album, or maybe it's just a precursor to an album that's coming. I don't know.
I think there is an album on the way. It's not 100%
I want more
sure
people to like them and listen to them, because I like
they're
them.
a fucking
really
great
good.
band.
And they're really good. And so, yeah, big thumbs up. The Warning.
Nice.
Sick.
Yeah, check out their previous stuff too, folks. They've got some cracking tunes out there. The last album they did 2020 or 21, where was it? That was a great release as well.
21, I think.
Yeah, 2-3 years ago now. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that went quick.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. So Michael said, love this track. Did not know it was a bonus In Flames track. So there we go. Michael enjoyed In Flames, but also Warning track. Great. Love this band as well. So Michael's having a good run there. Benjamin's, you dirty bastard. So there we go. Vinny says, Jeff appeared to lift like a mare's tail during his reviews.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Michael says, Warning are due to release. Here we go. Another track, affectionately known as High Cat by the Warning followers, is called Hell You Call a Dream. They wrote and recorded the songs More Sick and Hell You Call a Dream back in late 22. No word is said about an album, but I believe once High Cat is out, we'll find out then. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Yeah, I knew that Michael had more information off the top of his head than I do. Vinny says, imagine the Warning and Legs Electric on the same card. That would be fucking great.
Yes.
That
make it happen.
Great.
And the original lineup of Tequila Mockingbird.
Yeah, that'd be good too. Those 3 bands would be great. But for those who don't know, Tequila Mockingbird were a Melbourne band that kicked around for a while. Actually, they have a great album called Fight and Flight. But also Legs Electric out of WA, Perth, have got some cracking tunes out there too. So check them out if you can.
Have they got more stuff coming? Because they had a single recently, didn't they?
Yeah, they did have it. I think they're doing another album or EP this year. So there is more stuff there. They're busy, which is good. Looking forward to that. Ben says, just saw fucking Indian dude growing rice in his hair on top of his fucking head. Not joking. Was wondering if you could do that with weed, of course. I don't know.
Rice.
There'd be some rice out of that.
I think rice and rice.
His green grass hair. So there we go. That'd be one way to get yourself out and about having some fun. Alrighty. Let's do the next song. Next song goes to Dave, actually. So we're going to throw to Dave. In the links in the description box, as always, there's, a song to go through a link. But this is a little band out of Melbourne. You may have heard of them, called Witchgrinder. And the new song from these guys is Dead by Dawn. This is the band's first new release in 4 years. So it's been a bit of a while between sessions of these guys. Dave, I know that you were keen to get this one, so I put it forward. You got it. What do you think?
Holy shit, this is fucking awesome. Horror and heavy metal. Can there be a better match made in heaven? Or hell, who cares? Fucking 2 of the most fun forms of entertainment and self-expression. Now, Witchgrinder are fucking awesome. I've seen them live. They're a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Their songs are great, but this song got my attention the first time I heard it, and I immediately listened to it again and again and again. I've been listening to it over and over.
Yeah.
The riff is fucking killer. The guitar tone is ballsy as hell. I would expect nothing less from this band. Shelvo from Espionage is now in this band. Great addition. The guy's fucking killer on the drums. The production is perfect for this style of metal and the theme of this song. The riff is tight as fucking grit. Deadites will swallow your soul. If you've seen Evil Dead 2, you will love this shit to fucking pieces. Holy
that was
crap.
a good little thing there. Yeah.
As soon as like the little sound bites from the movie come on and the lyrics, brilliant. The solo is awesome. I just love this fucking song. I give this 9 Deadites out of 10. I had to do it.
It's a cracking tune, man. I loved it as soon as I heard it as well. So there we go.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the Evil Dead, you're a fucking pussy.
Yeah, no,
the original 3 are great. The remakes are cool. The TV
number
series
3 is
awesome.
Hilarious. Number 3.
Number 2 is the best.
Speaking of number 3, in the Wednesday 13 Murder Dolls concert last week, there was a drum solo, and it had all these horror samples during the solo. So it started off with like The Exorcist and then Halloween, and halfway through, it comes up with Ash. This is my boomstick.
Nice.
I feel like the drummer holds up his drums and it gets back to his sticks.
That's cool.
That's fucking lame as hell, but it was so funny and cool.
Funny,
at the same time.
That is funny.
All right. Every fucking cool sample you can think of.
That's cool. Well, got some love for it. Benjamin says, yeah, great band. Michael says, strike through. Love this track as well. Beef, good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Question without notice. All right, we'll do a quick round of this one. What's your most underrated Black Sabbath song?
Oh, wow. Oh.
Most underrated.
Under the Sun on Volume 4. Didn't appreciate that until I saw the concert when they were last here in Melbourne. They played that song and like, holy shit, this is cool. I went back to the album. I fucking love it to pieces. Good song.
Okay. Nice.
Doomsday Recitation.
Ah. Okay.
That was a track released way back. And there was a bootleg that came out by the same name, Doomsday Recitation, which probably no one has ever heard of, but Google it. It exists, and try that.
Cool. I'm going to go out on a limb and not make a song, but I think the Tony Martin era of that band is.
By the way, it's coming in May. It's coming in May.
Yeah, I know.
All the re-releases. But Tia is a good album.
Coming in 2024.
Black Sabbath go prog.
Yeah,
Tia was a good album.
I think it's a really good album. I just think, I think that era gets overlooked far too easily.
Absolutely. So, Headless Cross is a classic album. One of my favorites.
And Andrew, thinking back to the Cranbourne studio when we did the fucking Black Sabbath, like we did the Aussie and the Dio specials. Yeah. And we no one had turned up yet, and you took a picture of the empty ring, and I made the caption, "They must be Tony Martin fans."
That's right. I remember that.
That's sad, Dave. That's really sad. He was
really
great. He was good. Though.
He was great.
I'd like to see him come back.
He released an album a year or two ago. That's pretty fucking good too, actually.
Yeah, so, I did hear some of his solo stuff. Yeah.
All right. Quickly, Conrad or Bell, do you have an addition to this conversation? Let's go, Conrad. What's your most underrated Black Sabbath track?
Well, I guess it's not Black Sabbath really. It's that Heaven and Hell song we did last week, which I Shadow of the Wind.
Yep. Fair enough. It's a belter.
Brilliant.
Heavy as rock. Yeah.
Cool.
I'll go with that.
Nice. Belle, anything jump to mind for you? Nah.
I am the wrong person to ask about.
Why? Yes, I agree.
I will make that clear, but I will comment on what I know, which is really just the Dio albums. And I think everyone talks about and After All, but I think Letters from Earth is cool.
Nice.
Great.
That's a good track.
No one mentions that, and it's one of my favorites on that album. So
nice.
It's a cool concept too. Letters from Earth. It's a really cool concept. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. No, Benjamin's giving us some trivia. Dead by Dawn was a Deicide song too. It's on the self-titled debut album, so there's a crossover there. Vinny's gone. Anyone getting Ministry and White Zombie vibes out of this Witchgrinder track? There is. I can understand that reference.
Zombie.
No.
It's funny, Dave. I reckon there is, but I know why you don't think so at the same time, because we had at the same time, for those behind the scenes, in the playlist we put together for this, there was a Ministry track pretty much right after.
That song sucked balls. That was shit.
I was waiting for that. Dave didn't like that one, but he liked this one. So
fucking crap.
Anyway,
but I like White Zombie and fucking Rob Zombie and White.
There's definitely a Rob Zombie or Rob Zombie vibe to it for sure. Vinny says Laguna Sunrise is a beautiful and very underrated instrument.
Yeah.
So there we go. Rowan says Dopamine. It's Iommi though, not Sabbath. So there we go. Nice one there. Michael says Sabbath classic lineup at the time. Never Say Die. The whole album not appreciated enough. Good point.
That's actually not a bad album. I know the fucking wheels were falling off, but that was pretty good.
Yep. Ben says Heaven and Hell is underrated for Sabbath. The entire LP.
That's
yeah,
Good
Good to See is a great song. And Michael says thought songs like Junior's Eyes overlooked. Okay, cool. There's a lot there. So there are a lot there. So that's another interesting sort of conversation point we can have there at some point. Not today, but we'll do it at some point. OB, thank you very much for the question. Hopefully that gave you some entertainment. All right, moving on. Next up is Conrad with a little song called Infected Rain. It's in the comments and the description box, as always, folks. Check it out. This is the latest single from the Moldovan band. Their fresh album, Time, is out now. It was released like a week ago, I think it was, as we do this one now. Maybe slightly longer than that. I'm not sure. But, yeah, very recent album. Latest from them. So, Conrad, how'd you go? I thought this was pretty cool personally, but what do you think?
This was chosen by the patrons, I believe.
Yes, put forward by Patreon and then randomly assigned out.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed this. This was different. It was unusual, as Kath and Kim would say. It's nice. Yeah, it's unusual. Yeah. It was quirky. It did have something different about it. I mean, for those that like, obviously, you can draw similarities with the likes of Evanescence, Nightwish, Within Temptation. For the people that like that stuff, they're going to enjoy this. It's different. It does have a death metal element to it too, with a vocal change. I did like the dynamics in it, and I think it has certainly some potential to go somewhere with this. This is I'd like to see how these guys develop over time. It'd be very interesting to see how they develop over time, indeed, because they're off to a good start. It didn't smash it out the ballpark for me, but it's definitely some interesting ideas in there. So I'd give this a 6 out of 10. Nice. So whoever it was that chose this and they're watching, well done.
Nice. There we go. All right, which means last but most definitely not least, we have Belle for this segment, which is a little song from a band called Freeze the Fall. It's a single called Glitch. Again, link in the comments in the description. It's the debut single from a teenage trio out of Canada, which makes this, in my opinion, even more impressive. But Belle, how'd you go?
Teenage trio, yes. I did a bit of research. The singer/guitarist is 16. They're all in high school. Bass player 15, drummer 15. So I don't know how they know each other or anything, if they're related, schoolmates, but they have some chemistry. They're just... When Jeff was talking about the warning and how, they're bigger than... It brought that expression to mind. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And I got that from... This trio. They just have such a full sound, and I really, when it first came on, they must have had an effect on. It was just a vocal and a guitar for a bar or two, and I thought, this is quite low budget, it's. But that's okay. Low budget indie kind of sound, and I knew at that point that they were a young band. But then it just comes in full and rich, and almost quite polished. So it was just it was a treat, actually. And I just enjoyed the whole song. The chords were, just basic sort of rock progression. Nothing out of the ordinary, but what you want to hear, like good choices. But it was what was happening around it, and what the bass was doing, and there was some kind of keyboard effect, some kind of runs going on there. I didn't see any evidence of a keyboard player or on the video or in the credits, but it was definitely there, and it just kind of added to it. I really liked it. The singer, great voice, good range. By range, I mean she can kind of dial it back and sing softer when she needs to, and then she's got a lot of power that she puts out
great
in
control.
The choruses. Yeah, exactly. Good control. And haven't even looked at my notes yet. She actually reminded me of someone, and it's been bugging me since I first heard the song. And I still can't think of who it is, but she reminded very strongly of someone else. Okay. And I still can't think of who it is. You know what will happen? Down the track, I will hear the song, like the singer that I'm trying to think of.
And you won't know why.
Oh, that's the singer that reminds me of, oh, wait, I can't think of what the song was now.
Exactly.
Well, Belle, when that happens, let us know in the chat and we'll try to help you out.
All right. I'll tell you who I'm trying to think of now, and then you can remind me.
Yeah.
Go team. What have I actually written? So, yeah, look, I'm impressed. I think these guys, if they stick with it, they've definitely got the songwriting ability. They've got the musical chops already. They're learning their instrument. They've learned a lot already. You can tell the enthusiasm and drive. I mean, you get that naturally with youth, don't you? But I think these guys would have it anyway. They're just real musicians. I'm just really impressed with them. So Spotify, YouTube, follow, and subscribe. So I'll be watching these guys. Well done.
Awesome. There we go. Cool. That's the first time I've done it that way. I got some comments here quickly, though. Michael says, Infected Rain dropped from 5 members to 4 members now for me, the album that's excited me the most this year so far. So there we go. There's some high praise from Michael, indeed. The dude, 6 out of 10. Isn't that everything from the last 30 years? I don't know. Sorry, that's my last comment. I don't know, mate. We found some good stuff over the last few years. I'll tell you that right now. Michael says one of the Freeze Fall's biggest influences to become a band was The Warning. So there we go. There's some crossover into earlier stuff tonight.
Cool.
And Michael followed up with apparently Freeze the Fall have an EP coming out around April with Glitch on it. Nice. Thank you for the update there. Vinny says, great to see some taken from the next generation with this Freeze the Fall track instead of TikTokers identifying as foreign genders. Good stuff. Boy, hun, who the fuck is Fu Manchu? Well, go listen to the album.
I said the same thing a week ago.
Well, listen to the album. Let us know what you think.
Listen to it.
I did, and I still said the same thing.
Well, they've had a career. I'll tell you that right now. Michael says the song made me think the Super Jesus or Paramore. Okay, I get Super Jesus maybe more than Paramore, but I get it.
No, it's not them.
No. Okay,
but
talent.
Anyway, so that's probably not what he meant.
No. And Sean is here. Sean from the Rocket. Good to see you. He's gone good evening from WA. Hopefully you're keeping well over there. And Ben's gone, not a big fan of Foo. We're getting to that, folks. That battle is coming up. We do have a couple of things.
F you. Fuck you.
F you. Fuck you. Yes. Well, that was a bad Jeff Tate album.
Jeff Tate was fucking
bad. Jeff Tate
that was fucking horrendous.
That was horrible. That was horrible. All right, we're not going to go off track again. Okay, cool. So now it is time for the Builder Collection. We've done 1990, 91, and 92 so far. Today we're going to do 1993. But before we do that, we're going to recap what we did last week. Belle, you've got a minute to get yourself prepared.
I'm good, thank you.
Cool. So last week, Dave went first and chose Kiss with Revenge. Belle went second with Pantera Vulgar Display of Power. Conrad had Black Sabbath with The Humanizer. I had Alice in Chains Dirt, and Jeff had Dream Theater Images and Words. So as points stood last week, we had what was it? We had Conrad and Dave both sitting on 80 points. This is all done by audience vote. So we pick our albums and we throw to the audience to vote on these things, and then we see what sort of happens after that. So last week we had Conrad and Dave on 80 points at a tie out in front. Jeff was sitting in third on 60 points. I was fourth on 50, and Belle was coming in last on 30 points this time around. Safe to say there's been a few changes in this little run around this time around, but let's see how we went with it. So for Dave, who went first last week, Kiss Revenge netted you 30 points to add to your total. Jeff, Dream Theater, Images and Words, came in last. 10 points for you, buddy.
That sucks.
Conrad, Black Sabbath, The Humanizer, up there, but not quite. You got 40 points for that, which is a very good effort for that one. Belle, Vulgar Display of Power from Pantera, got 20 points, which means that I came in first this time around. Alice in Chains Dirt got 50 points. So that makes up for Queen getting
Jeff's
snubbed.
the one.
So
I think Jeff should have beaten us all. Fuck.
Anyway,
I
so that
tried.
changes things.
We
You could
tried.
have picked it, Dave.
I could have, but I went with, it's difficult, but fuck.
Yeah.
That's
Being
why-
logical, Dream Theater are the best band of them all, obviously.
I had a choice. I could have done Alice in Chains. I had a choice. It was them, and I went with Dream Theater.
On fucking musical talent alone, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, do you
Dirt, fourth pick.
I guess it comes down to choosing for what you want,
Yeah.
what you like,
Correct.
as opposed to earning points.
With a
Yeah,
bit of
yeah.
strategy.
But it is a game.
That's
It is a
the
game.
fun.
That's why
It
there's
is a
points
game.
there.
Yeah.
That's right.
If you
I've
want to
played
win,
this
then
way.
you'll have to go with maybe sacrifice what you don't like so much.
And it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next few weeks with the years coming up to see which way we all play it as well. It's going to make it interesting. Because we
So
all
what-
know
what
it's going
is
to get a bit different after
What's
this.
the list now? Like what?
That's what I'm going to
positions
go
are we in?
through now. So still coming in last, but it's getting narrower now. The gaps are getting narrower. So Bell is on 50 points. Jeff, you're now in fourth spot on 70 points. Dave, you're down to third on 110. I've jumped into second on 100, and Conrad's out in front on 120. So that's where we stand as we go through things this time around. But as always, we have to change
Hang
things
on a
up.
minute. Isn't 110 higher than 100, Andrew?
Oh, sorry. Yes,
Usually.
you're right. Oh, I don't know. I was in a rush for my notes. So sorry, Dave. You're in second. I'm in third. There we go. Fixed it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bell. Thank you, Bell.
Gonna fuck that up soon.
Tried to
Well,
slip that
this-
under, but you caught him. You caught him.
I didn't actually. I
Otherwise-
just completely fucked myself around. Belle does the counting for me, so it's good that she's here to sort of keep me
I
on track. There
already
we go.
knew.
Imagine if I was doing
so-
the counting, it'd be even worse. So there you go. That's
Oh, yeah.
I suck at math. Don't get me to do math. I'll just do the reading of things out. All right. So thank you for pulling me up there. So again, Conrad in first, Dave in second, I'm in third, Jeff fourth, Bell fifth, as things stand now. But there's only 60 points between first and last, so it's anyone's game yet to go because we are going all the way through to 99. But today it's time to do 1993. And Jeff, as the order rotates through, you get to go first this time around. You cannot take Queensryche, Ozzy Osbourne, or Dream Theater. You cannot take the same band twice, obviously, and you can't take an album once someone else has already taken it. Those are the rules. But Jeff, over to you. 93. Which way you go?
Well, say hello to first place for next week because there's no question here. There's only one album that I could take, and as it happens to be my favorite album from this band. It always has been. And that's Anthrax, The Sound of White Noise.
Ah,
Good pick. Had to be.
Yeah.
You'd be fucking crazy to not take that.
Well, it's fucking the first John Bush album, and it just gave such a life. I don't know what the fuck the deal was going back to Joey Belladonna. I like him, but I just thought the John era, Bush era was just better.
yeah, but man, we got worship music out of that lineup, so
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean,
And
there's
we've
some
come for
great
you
shit
all.
that's
Like the
come from
last
that.
three Anthrax albums are fucking great.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So there we go. That's one down, which means, Dave, the choice you wanted is gone. You cannot take Priest, Skid Row, or Kiss again. They've been ruled out for you.
Yeah.
Which way are you going this time around?
Look, the battle thing, not going to talk very much, but I am going to have a rant here. I apologize, but just sit back, grab some popcorn. Look, whether you like it or not, this is a very significant era for music. A lot happened. Some was good, mostly bad, some very bad in some cases. I don't get what the fuck happened. 60s bands survived into the 70s. 70s bands survived into the 80s, but the 80s bands only survived into 1992. And they were considered a joke. Look, it's not a terrible year. Okay, we had albums from Metallica, Kiss, Dream Theater, Iron Maiden, and Van Halen. It's pretty cool, but oh wait, they were all live albums. Metallica just came off a 2-year tour, released Binge and Purge live shit.
Yeah.
Then they're done for a few years. Kiss, a live free, for all intents and purposes, they become a nostalgia band after here. Prove me wrong. Dream Theater decide, fuck America. We had some success with Pull Me Under. They go to Japan and Europe and forge an independent career. Fuck America. Iron Maiden, 3 live albums. Bruce Dickinson quit the band. Van Halen, 3 albums in the course of their career after this. One is the one with Gary Sharon. Who actually listens to that? They never reached the same heights. Okay, so it's not completely horrible. We have albums from Judas Priest and Def Leppard. Oh wait, they're compilation albums. Rob Halford quits Judas Priest. Okay, wasn't intentional because of a contractual fuck up, so he could do Fight. And Def Leppard, let's say, they're never the same after this. And Europe, they have a compilation album, but they disbanded a year ago. Okay, So credit where it's due. Def Leppard survived the 90s by changing their sound. I fucking hated it, but credit where it's due. They maintained their career. So what else we got? Okay, cool. Halloween. You've never let me down. Fucking great band. Oh, wait. 1993, Chameleon. Fuck off. The worst album they ever made. Absolutely terrible. In fact, you should just call yourself Ween because you forgot about the hell. It's a fucking terrible album. Speaking of terrible albums and terrible bands, Rush released an album this year as well. I won't continue. Fuck that. Okay, come on, guys. Come on. Guns N' Roses, you guys don't let me down. Spaghetti Incident, I love the album to bits, but it's a covers album, so I won't pay this. And like Metallica, the guys just got off a 2-year tour. They're done. They're not officially broken up, but we'll never have this lineup again. So, okay, who else disbands this year? Alex Skolnick leaves Testament, Exodus, behind the scenes issues and changing musical environment, and Faster Cliff's Pussycat breakup. There's a lot more to come in the next couple of years. So things looking pretty grim. So what's it all replaced with? Grunge. Fucking fantastic. Nirvana released In Utero. Even by Nirvana standards, this is a fucking terrible album. We did the Grunge special a couple of years ago, and I physically threw my CD into the bin because that album has not aged well. It's fucking horrible. The performances are terrible. The writing is terrible. And Kurt's pro-suicide lyrics can get in the fucking bin. Pearl Jam Versus, not a bad album, actually. This could actually make my short list. Obviously, they were bored with playing the songs on 10 because right from the start of this album, it's a lot more of a rock band than that fucking 10 album was. And then we have Smashing Pumpkins with Little Billy, the guy whose balls never dropped. Fuck me, this is a shit band. They were never good. 2 years previous, we're listening to Slave to the Grind where Sebastian Bach is singing and screaming his fucking heart out. And now this is what's called rock. Fuck off. Okay, people say grunge had to happen because rock was getting stale. We just went through 1990, 91, 92. 3 of the best consecutive years in music history for rock. Does it sound like the genre was getting tired or running out of ideas? Did we really need grunge? No, we did not. It just fucked everything up. Can you imagine what would have happened if all those bands continued? How good things would have been? But no, along comes the shit.
It wasn't grunge that fucked everything up. It was the record companies pushing it.
Exactly, I agree, because they could sell depression to teenagers. It was an easy sell. It was an easy sell, and as soon as streaming comes along in the early 2000s, the early 2000s, you have VH1 promoting all the old shit. You have Guitar Hero, and you have streaming. And as soon as people could like objectively find what they wanted, all that new metal shit and all the grunge shit was fucking gone because everything came back. All these bands that struggled for a career for 8 years. They all came back. We didn't need the fucking 90s. It was a mistake. You had bands that were changing their style. Starting this year, Shotgun Messiah go from glam to industrial punk. What the fuck is that? And then you also have a bunch of obscure bands. Obscure at the time. We all know them now, but Annihilator, Gamma Ray, Merciful Fate, and Metal Church. Unless you had $60 to go to Metal from Melbourne on import, you weren't finding these albums in a fucking general record store. So there were a lot of good albums that came out this year. You had Aerosmith, Get a Grip. You had Anthrax, Sound Right Noise. You had Motorhead, Bastards, Sepultura, Chaos AD, Typo Negative, Bloody Kisses, Fight, War of the Worlds. And I'll also mention Wigner with their last album for 13 years. And Blue Murder, John Sykes' band, which was long delayed because of the musical changes. And I should pick one of those. I thought I was going to be further down the list. Jeff picked the best of the bunch. I would pick Aerosmith, I should, or Sepultura's Chaos AD. I thought I was actually going to be last this week for some reason, and I was going to go with Fight. I was listening to that album Sunday night, and I was doing research for all the shit I just spoke about, and then going through Wikipedia, a band name came up that I haven't thought about in 30 years, and I hadn't actually heard this album, but I knew of this band 30 years ago. They're called Phantom Blue. I read about them in a magazine. So I looked them up on Spotify. They're not there. I looked them up on YouTube, along with a music video with holy shit, the VH1 logo in the top corner. Thank you for unfucking everything in the early 2000s because VH1 fucking rocks with your music videos and your documentaries. I gave this album a listen and it's fucking awesome. heavy guitar tone, impressive guitar solos, and they even had the balls to cover Thin Lizzy's bad reputation.
Wow.
You know, it's bad enough that bands that had a career for 10 years were suddenly no longer trendy because of all this grunge shit that the record companies are pushing because it's an easy song. Jesus Christ, there goes the jack. But the lid was on. It's all good.
Right.
But imagine, seriously, imagine being on your first or second album and thinking you're finally getting somewhere, and then the rug is pulled out from under you. That would have fucking sucked. It's a shame that both styles couldn't coexist. You know, because all the metal fans from the 80s were well accepting of the grunge, and then new fans to grunge were criticizing the bands that came before, and so were the bands. I have fucking countless magazines up there from back in the day. They were just making shitty jokes and disrespectful attitudes, and hair metal became a fucking joke. I'm not going to get any points at all for this, and since nobody knows the band, I'm going for an obscure pick. They were actually signed to Geffen Records. They had solos from Jeff Norum from Europe, Marty Friedman from Megadeth, Wes Hakim, Guns N' Roses fame, wrote a song. Their drummer is now in the Iron Maidens, and nobody fucking knows this band. Phantom Blue, Built to Perform. Check it out on YouTube because it's fucking great. This shit's all over all the grunge shit that came out this year.
Wow. Okay. Deep cut find. So Phantom Blue, Built for Form.
Yeah, seriously. Listen to it. It's good.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, Belle, you get to follow that up now. So...
I've got to write this down. That's all right. I can watch it back. Never heard of it. I don't think anyone has, including Dave, until
like a few days ago. Which is fucking terrible.
Is Phantom spelled normally, like Phantom?
Yeah, Phantom Blue. All girl band. All girl band. The guitarist sadly died 15 years ago of brain cancer.
All chick band, I remember.
All chick band. The drummer is in the Iron Maidens.
Nice.
They were never heard of ever again. They're a bit of a one.
Yeah, they released a few albums, but a lot of bands released albums in the 90s that you never heard of. Because, you know, they could actually play, and bands that could play had to fuck off to Europe and maybe play clubs while absolute crap got celebrated.
Well, let's just see how we go now. Belle, have you got a decision?
Wow. That's surprising. I only had 3 down because it's all I needed, really.
Yep.
And I thought I'd have to go with my third choice, but I don't. I can go with my first choice.
Wow.
Which is Sepultura's Chaos AD, of course.
Nice.
Good pick. Nice.
Well done. All right. So that means it's Conrad up next. 93. Still some good albums there, I think. But
anyway. Look, I don't think it was as terrible as Dave makes it out to be.
It's not as good as the previous 3 years.
No,
but that's a hard one to follow.
There was some other stuff that was coming along that it wasn't grunge. It was good. Like you had Typo Negative's Bloody Kisses coming out. You had Full Undertow, which was interesting. You know, Coverdale Page put out a record. You know, so
that was a good album.
Steve Vai, Sex and Religion. That was the first time Devin introduced Devin to the world. You know, Duff McKagan.
But come on, guitar playing becomes a joke. Very similar. So, like, the guitar nerds, a very, very small community from here on.
Yeah. They come back later.
You know.
They do.
I would probably choose Life of Agony, River Runs Red, because I think it's an amazing record. It's
that shit band.
It's fantastic. It's brilliant. However, and you should listen to it several more times because it will grow on you.
I can't.
I would choose that, but I'm not. I'm going to go with something else that I think was severely underrated. So I'm going to go with what my heart wants as opposed to what the audience might. I'm not going to go for brownie points. I'm going to go for what the audience, for what I like, as opposed to what, you know. And that would be Entombed, Wolverine Blues.
Yeah.
Wolverine
I knew
Blues
it. Somehow I knew it. I knew it. Yeah.
Entombed, Wolverine Blues is an absolute masterpiece. It's fantastic. And everybody should listen to it. So, yes.
Nice.
If you like, it totally was a different style to everything else that was happening.
Can you it chopped up for me? Can you quickly repeat that again for me so I can note it down?
Entombed Wolverine Blues.
Cool, thank you. Just
I gave you the song a little while back. Look, for the Stone Rock fans, they're going to love this.
Cool.
It was like a death metal band, but they went for more big, fat, heavy groove riffs.
It was like
they developed a style called Death and Roll.
Yeah, yep.
Called Death and Roll, and I fucking love it. It's great.
Cool.
So yes,
Nice.
Death and Roll.
Death and Roll is a cool subgenre. I do enjoy that.
Yeah, Death and Roll. I loved it. So I'm going with Wolverine Blues. I know it's probably not going to gain me any points for it, but still, it's where my heart was at on this one for this year, for that year. Anyway, yeah, for sure. Could have gone with a bigger, more popular title, but going with my heart was.
Yeah, do what feels right, dude.
Yeah. Now,
I'm not mistaken. Sorry, I just wanted to add one more thing about that album. Was that in the record company or the management of Entombed, they signed a deal with Marvel initially, and they wanted to do something in regards to that, and then basically said to the band, you have to do this. You have to write. So the band didn't want to do. They didn't want to write anything that had to do with Marvel. But that's what they ended up calling the band or that album Wolverine Blues.
Right.
Because of the association with Marvel Comics.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Cool.
What you
getting all the info tonight.
Yeah.
Big education for everyone today. No, that's cool. This is funny because like there's some great albums being taken, but I wasn't sure which way this is going to go tonight. And so I'm last and I'm like, okay, I've actually got some to choose from here because there's still some great albums that haven't been mentioned. Yeah. Carcass released Heartwork this year. Dio has Strange Highways. Harem's going to have Mood Swings. Lenny Kravitz released Are You Gonna Go My Way? Living Colour had Stain. We got Motorhead, Nirvana. Another deeper cut from my CD collection is Paradise Lost Icon. I started with Paradise Lost at this point in time. Poison, Native Tongue was in there. Radiohead, Pablo Honey came out. And obviously a lot of the albums that have been previously mentioned here. But it's funny because everyone's talking about, heart versus strategy and all that kind of stuff. And this is genuinely both because whilst I may regret this in terms of albums coming up, this is an album and a band that I really do enjoy listening to. And even though it's maybe overlooked in this context, I think there's one song in particular which really does just cut through and stands the test of time. There's great singles all over it, but this particular song, Living on the Edge, was one that is just a brilliant.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm going to go with Aerosmith, Get a Grip.
I'm glad they got picked. Yes.
Because I genuinely do adore that album. I think it's a really damn solid album.
So good.
I think maybe a little bit overlooked in terms of conversation we're talking about tonight. But and it's not a case of being strategic. It's like, fuck, I had a good list. And it's like, well, actually, that's one that I really do love. So I'm just going to take that one and see what happens over the scoring in the week ahead. So to recap for everyone here, Jeff took Anthrax, Sound of White Noise. Dave chose Phantom Blue, Built for Form. Bell took Sepultura, Chaos AD. Conrad, Entombed, Wolverine Blues. And I've chosen Aerosmith, Get a Grip. There'll be a poll coming up for this one on the socials in the next few days. So just make sure you keep an eye out.
Aerosmith are probably the only band that survived the 90s without changing their sound.
I have to say, they were one of the few. They were one of the few. Yeah, Rush too. Yeah, Rush definitely.
Even Rush changed from the 70s, man.
Yeah, not as much as other bands, though. And it was more organic.
Well, they didn't go grunge.
Yes.
So
yeah, that's right. Very organic.
Yeah, even Aerosmith maintained the level and kept growing. Yeah. Kept being who they are without, subjecting themselves to the mundane shit that was in the commercial charts.
Permanent vacation that exposed the world to Aerosmith again. And then they just
and then Pump,
there.
Then Get a Grip, then Nine Live. It was a natural progression, but they kept just being them. And they kept getting bigger and bigger.
Anyway, there's lots we can go through, but we won't. We'll just keep moving on. Next week is 1994. I get to go first because I went last this week, so we'll see what happens next week as things go through. Comments, here we go. So back to the songs of the week. Michael says 5 out of 5 this week. Liked all those tracks, which is nice. Rowan says Images and Words came last. That's so wrong.
I agree, dude. I agree. It's a popularity contest, not based on musical talent.
What do we got here? Ben says, God damn it, my hand feels like I owed money to Chopper Eat or something. Well, ouch. I do empathize. I smashed my thumb years ago, and yeah, it took forever to fucking settle down. It took years for actually the pain to stop. So hopefully it doesn't go like that for you. Vinny says, got him, Bell. That's Kelsey top behind him. Okay. We're going backwards now. Ben says, I discovered that I couldn't even wipe my ass this morning. That was fun. When you've done enough damage, you learn to be ambidextrous pretty quick. So good luck with that. Rowan says, Steve Vai, Sex and Religion for me as my 93 pick, which is there. Edge Crusher, Sound of White Noise by Anthrax for me. So there we go, getting some picks in now. Andrew says King's X Dogman, In Tune, Wolverine Blue, Anthrax, Sound of White Noise, Paradise Lost, Icon, all great albums. But for me, the best from 93 was Carcass with Heartwork. The guitar tone from Stephen Amott was insane. That is a great album. We reviewed it a while ago now. It was fucking fantastic. Rowan says, bonus points to Winger. Best album Pull was released this year. Dream Theater's excellent live at the Marquee. And for strange choice, I love Björk's debut. Björk is an underrated
interesting
artist.
Yeah, Winger's last album for 13 years, man. That says a lot.
Yeah, but they did another one last year, which is pretty good.
Yeah, they did. Because thank you, VH1 and Guitar Hero for unfucking everything in the early 2000s.
Rowan's got more for
the
us.
90s was a mistake.
No, it
doesn't exist.
Conception's Parallel Minds was this year as well.
Conception.
Yeah,
that's
Khan.
Right, Khan.
Brilliant singer.
Great
Saw him with Camelot.
Wow.
Cool. Oh, shit.
Nice.
I would have loved that.
Somebody else knows them.
Rowan said Phantom Blue, another all-female band, which is cool.
Somebody else knows them. Holy shit.
Yeah. LA Guns are an amazing band. So there we go. So Dave might have some points. They are, and their new album is out now. I believe the last one with the
which lineup? There's two fucking versions.
Steve Riley version. Vince Neil Exposed wasn't too bad. That was a good album. Vinny. Ben says Life of Agony has a song called Weeds. It's a favorite song. So there we go. Rowan says, Mood Swings. That album is a corker. It is very good from Harum Scarum. Steelers Nation Australia. G'day, mates. Good to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well out there. Thanks for jumping in and saying hi.
Hey.
Sean says, get a grip. Fabulous album. Amazing. What a track. So there we go. And Michael says, Strange Highways for me out of every album mentioned by a mile for me. Love Tracy G's work on this one. So that era of Dio, I think, gets overlooked unfairly.
I wasn't sure if I should include that because it was the European version that came out in 93 and the rest of the world was 94.
Yeah.
Technically, Bloody Kisses and Typo Negative also came out in 94.
I don't want to get too into the week. I think if it's released that year, you can claim it.
Kind of thing. It's fucking around with things.
Yeah.
No one's mentioned more, but Angel Covenant. That's an awesome album. That was my third choice, but I.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
There we go. Ben says Steve Riley's passed away, ex-Wasp LA Guns. Yeah, Stephen Riley's, the last album with him was released on what would have been his birthday a couple of weeks ago, I think now, as it is. And yep, correct, Dave. You're at first from Michael there saying you're agreeing there. But I think that, in those contexts, I think we'll just make it the rule that if it is released that year, it doesn't matter where, just so long as it's released that year for consumption, then you can take it. All right. Moving on, guess the song time, and it's my turn. Conrad, you're next week, so get yourself ready to go next week. But for me, we'll see. Last week, Belle had it, and she chose Queensryche. Going to get close to you. It was guessed by Jeff and Rowan. Jeff here in the crew and Rowan in the audience. Choice there. I've got the screen sort of saved where I am, so I can go through comments later on to see who gets there first. We get one guess each. Phone off. No cheating. You get one guess each, and then you're out, and then we'll see if it's any of us that get it, or if the audience get there first. We'll sort of scroll through and see how we go. Now, for this one, because the title of the song is referenced quite a bit in the lyrics, I'm going to skip past those lyrics in here, and like I did before with the Motorhead song that I did a while back. But we all know the deal. I'm just going to read out some lyrics, and we'll see who gets there first. Everyone ready to go?
Yeah.
Ready.
All right, let's do it. All right. It's either going to be really quick or it's not going to get guessed. I don't know. It's going to be one or the other. There's no middle ground on this one. But we'll see what happens. All right. It's one of those ones. Dying Swans, Twisted Wings, Beauty Not Needed. Yeah.
Yeah. It's it's Iron Maiden, and it is the fucking came out in 2000, and it was when they got that.
Yeah, it's off Brave New World.
Brave New
Conrad.
World. Yeah, it's Brave New World. Yeah.
I told you it was either going to be really quick or it was going to be fucking long.
Yeah.
And anyone who's heard that album, dude, would know that fucking lyric.
I picked something that everyone would have listened to at some point or another, and
not only is that possibly the best comeback album of all time, it's possibly one of the best Iron Maiden albums of all time. So if you haven't heard it, what the fuck, man?
Up there for me, it's probably my favorite album. To be honest,
it could be. Fucking Brave New World is fantastic.
Yeah, I picked it because
Bruce Dickinson comes back to Maiden. I was dancing a fucking dance of joy.
That was when that
Dance of Death that came on the next album.
Yeah, but it was a moment in time for me. I figured I'd grab that one. I knew it would either go really quickly or wouldn't get guessed at all. But I figured it'd go quickly.
And you didn't get past the first line.
Well, it happens. Last time I did Brotherhood of Man, and no one got even.
No one got that. That was too hard.
That's what we're trying to find, that balance. What's too hard? Figured I'd try this one, make it so it was accessible enough, and we got there in the end. It was one of those ones where it was either going to go really quickly or it was going to kick themselves when it didn't get guessed.
I'm happy. I'm listening to Maiden tomorrow because I fucking love that album.
There you go.
So good.
Michael says Brave New World, great, and the Rock and Rio live DVD was cool. Rock and Rio was great.
I just plugged that out. It's a great
500,000 motherfuckers singing along to Feel the Dark, man.
Yeah,
that video is insane.
I'm just gonna make a quick.
Fucking amazing, man.
I'm gonna have to.
And Dave. So there we go. Just making note of who guessed what. So next week, Conrad, you're up for the lyrics. So we'll see if you can make it last a bit longer.
You have to do Judas Priest.
All right. So now it is time for the main event of the evening. It is time for King of the Riff, which is where it's the Stoner Rock and Metal edition, where we're putting two albums from Stoner Rock and Metal bands as chosen by the audience up against each other. This time around, it is Fu Manchu, California Crossing, the 4th seed, going up against Black Sabbath, Master of Reality, the 5th seed. So this is a neck and neck in the seeding of things here. Those are the two albums. I'm going to put reference tracks in the comments for you now, and for those playing along at home, but there are also reference tracks in the description box as always, so you can check those out. But for Fu Manchu, I chose Squash the Fly, and Black Sabbath, I chose Children of the Grave. So, as we all know, these are albums, or one album in particular is one that everyone knows. The other one we've already discovered that some people don't know it at all, so we'll see how things go here. But yeah, it is, for lack of it, it's just the next round of the battle. This is round 4. Next week is round 5. We'll continue on until we get to round 9, where we'll have a winner. But now we're going to throw to basically giving our thoughts on picking a winner here. And Jeff, you're going to start us off. Which way did you go on this one?
All right. Well, I wrote this down, so I'll read what I wrote. Okay. So we got Black Sabbath, Master of Reality versus Fu Manchu, California Crossing. So I don't think I've ever heard of Fu Manchu before this review, but I'm sorry about that, because actually what I heard here I actually quite liked. There's an energy here that bleeds through the entire album. Yep. California Crossing is well thought out album and has a lot going for it. And I couldn't help but notice that there's almost if you listen for it, you can hear there's almost a punk sound here hiding in there.
Yeah, a bit of fun in it.
And at times it reminded me a little bit of The Offspring, just a little bit, but with a more focused resolve, I thought. So I listened to the album and I thought I liked it a lot. So what I did was I went back and I started listening to the band's discography, just sampling bits and pieces from songs. And I was spot on with the punk analogy, because you can hear it right away in some of their older stuff. It's very, very punkish. And then as I'm listening to more and more of their music, I'm going, they're actually starting to remind me of something. In a very strange way, they remind me of the band. Now, you guys are going to think I'm fucking crazy, but they reminded me of the band Cake.
Oh, okay.
So don't explain
they were fucking crap.
Just ask me to. I can't explain it, because
I'm curious how you got there.
Cake doesn't sound anything like these guys, but for some reason, Fu Manchu reminded me of Cake. Okay, if that makes sense.
Maybe in the videos or something. I don't know.
I didn't do any of the videos.
No,
I just listened.
I know what it is. I get it.
Okay.
And
cool.
Obviously, they've got far less musical prowess, because Cake is the musicianship of Cake is pretty fucking great. Whether you like their music or not, they know how to play their instruments. Yeah. They're very talented. And so I think that the essence was there, but they lacked that musical brilliance that Cake has. And so that's not to say that Fu Manchu isn't a talented band. They are in their own way, absolutely. But look, I digress. I think that Fu Manchu is a stoner rock band without a question. And there's a lot more going for them than that one label or moniker would suggest. As we discussed before, stoner rock is sort of open to a wide interpretation of what it actually is, and there's a lot of things that sort of slip under the radar. I really like this band. I like this album, and after going through and listening to it a few times, and then going through their catalog and picking songs here and there, just random, I can't recommend this band enough. They're a great band, really good. Cool. Check them out. Nice. So I really like them a lot. So now that gets me to Black Sabbath, Master of Reality. So when I saw that this album was on the list, I couldn't help but wonder why. Yeah. Now I'm not going to waste anyone's time here. I'm going to come right out and say that for me, this isn't a stoner rock album, and there's not a stoner rock album on the list that was of all the bands that could beat it. Master of Reality is a brilliant album, transcends genre. It truly is one of the greatest albums of all time ever recorded by anyone. However, having said all that, I don't see it as a stoner rock album. Okay, and that's what this is. This is a stoner rock album battle. So this battle is about a bunch of great stoner rock bands, almost great, because there was one that wasn't so great, but
did it last week.
We all know who that was. And they were all going head to head against each other. So if you put Master Reality into the mix, as I said, there isn't anywhere an album that can beat it. It's a brilliant album. It's just amazing. So it's simply not a fair fight. And how can songs like Orchid, Embryo, or even Solitude be considered stoner rock? I just don't get that.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense to me. So some people will say that this album birthed stoner rock, and while I can understand the basis for that sentiment,
they might have been stoned while they were making it, but it doesn't make it stoner rock.
Well, that's right. I don't necessarily agree with that thing, because I think that Sabbath was one of a small handful of bands that actually gave birth to all of what we call heavy metal today. And so by that logic, this album or any Sabbath album could very well find its way onto every subgenre album battle of any fucking thing. So it doesn't make sense. It doesn't belong here. So when I think of stoner rock, Master Reality doesn't even come to mind, nor should it. This is a battle of stoner rock albums, and in my opinion, Fu Manchu was by far the more stoner rock album than Master Reality, and therefore, in my opinion, wins this battle by default, because for my money, Master of Reality is disqualified from even being in the category in the first place.
Okay. Cool.
Wow.
All right. Fighting words. We'll see how that one goes.
Awesome.
Just a spoiler alert here. Gone well against the audience here. We'll see what happens. All right. Dave, you had your rant before. Is this going to be quick, or are you going to...
This will be quick, yeah. Similar to Jeff, I've never heard of Fu Manchu. Looking them up on Spotify, they've been around for 30 years, apparently. I guess they were in the alternative section, because I never fucking ventured into that section. So this was pretty good to start with. It was fun, upbeat, enjoyable, mid-tempo rock. Unfortunately, that's all it was from start to finish. I listened to this a few times in different places, and my attention would always drift into, hey, Shiny, what's going on over there? To the point where I didn't know where one song finished and another one began. They were all so fucking similar. This is what I call fast food music, because you enjoy it while you're listening, and then ultimately you're left feeling empty and wondering what the hell you just consumed. The drum solo in the last song got my attention a little bit, and the obvious Sabbath influence in that last song, but apart from that, it was one very long, boring fucking listening, like a lot of the stoner rock shit is.
Wow.
Now, Black Sabbath. Okay, I'm biased as hell. This is my favorite Sabbath album by far. My first note is, how the fuck is this stoner rock?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Jeff is right. It's a stoner rock battle, so it should be Fu Manchu. But, you know, these are two albums that you got to compare, and this is no contest, because every fucking song on Masters of Reality is different, which makes it a more diverse and interesting listen. Yep. This is the next logical step from Paranoid. They start experimenting a little bit, not as much as they experiment with on Volume 4 and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. The solos and the doomy riffs, the short instrumentals, they're truly fucking beautiful, those short little pieces. Okay. You got the ultimate headbanger song, Children of the Grave, clever and humorous lyrics with After Forever. I remember the first time I heard that song, I'm like, this is fucking clever and brilliant, and I laughed my head off. Something completely different and vulnerable with the haunting Solitude, and then closing with the excellent Into the Void. The band sounds great. They're firing on all creativity, all on top of their game. Yeah, Jeff's right. It's a stoner rock battle, but I don't give a fuck because this is amazing. It's Sabbath, it's Aussie, and it's a great album. You can't just do the same thing over and over for 20 fucking songs and call that an interesting listen when you can do the same thing with 8 songs and make them all different, but they all belong on the same album to make it a great listen. You know, I'm trying to be objective, but obviously Sabbath is the fucking winner.
All right. We're 1-1. This is going to be an interesting battle, I feel. This is going to be interesting. All right, Conrad, the call is yours now.
I'm with Jeff on this. I feel exactly the same about this as Jeff has already articulated, so I don't need to. In the same respect, it's not stoner rock. I don't know who put this. Why this is chosen.
Yeah,
no offense to the viewers. I don't want to piss the viewers off. We don't want to piss off the Patreons, but no, this shouldn't have been put in.
It shouldn't have been.
It's not really fair on the other bands. I mean, obviously, Masters of Reality is the better record. No one's going to deny that, but it's not really fair to put it in this category. So therefore, Fu Manchu gets it.
That's cool. I get to fall asleep for another week. More boring fucking stoner rock crap.
It's not all. Trust me, there's some good stuff out there, Dave. In this,
well, somebody pick a fucking good album because I haven't heard very much good stuff in the last few weeks.
You'll get there. Don't worry. You get the Caius. You get the Caius. Open up the Caius.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. I don't like Caius. I don't like Caius at all. We'll get there.
Caius is the ultimate stoner rock band. That's
and that's why I don't like the fucking genre.
Worst things worse. There's only a few weeks to go, Dave. So we'll get there in the end for you eventually. Just got to write it out.
That's good. I've been sleeping well these last few weeks.
All right.
So Fu Manchu gets through.
Cool. All right. So it's 2-1 now. I'll go next, and then Bell will throw to you after that. Look, last week was as one-sided as it fucking gets. I think we've all agreed on that. With probably good reason at the end of the day. Even it was funny because we're chatting to Original Tim doing the TV's version of this, and even he was saying not a good album. The only thing that was notable about it was the artwork. So that was it's pretty universally not. That was the one we did last week. We're not going to. I think this week's battle is a lot closer than a lot of people might expect. Now, for me, it was genuinely it was. The chatter I noticed online, paying attention to comments that come through, was very one-sided, and the audience vote was a reflection.
Yeah, the audience is right this week.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll find out in a minute. But I would argue, I know it's been said by other people here, but I would argue that if you think it's not a contest at all, I think listen to both these albums back to back, because the Fu Manchu album, it's too easy to overlook it in the context. I think it's a really good album. I'm extremely familiar with Master of Reality. From the iconic cough to the end of the album, it's an all-time great classic record. But you flip to Fu Manchu, and you can genuinely make a case for it to be a more entertaining album, especially in some of the bunch here. It's a lot better than other offerings here. If this had come up against things like Queens of the Stone Age or Electric Wizard, heaven forbid, then it would definitely be no contest. Like it would have lit both those albums. So this is no, Wilting Daisy kind of an album. I think it's a really strong, solid fucking album. There's some cracking tracks in this one. Mongoose, California Crossing, Squash That Fly. I think Squash That Fly is a fucking banger. It flies by as a listen for me, Dave. I don't know what you were doing, but it's dynamic. It was interesting to me.
I tried. I really tried. 5 listens.
It made me want to grab my surfboard and go to Venice Beach,
Well, it does have that California vibe, doesn't it? It really does.
It made me want to go surfing and walking along Venice Beach, It was great.
It's cool. It's got a great mix. I think the writing is great. Performances are good. It rocks hard. This versus Clutch will be a great battle, I think, actually. Listen to those two albums back to back.
Clutch win.
Challenging.
Easy.
So I implore everyone to not sleep, quote unquote, on this album. I think it's fucking great.
Listen to it. It's good.
I'm not even close to tired of it. I've listened to it a lot this week, and I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Now, all that said, it is coming up against a Titan. Now, Master Reality is an all-timer. I could argue, there is an argument either way about it being part of this whole process. Now, the thing is that I will argue that it can be part of the process because without this album, stoner rock, doom metal, those sorts of things, may not have come about the way they have. And so I think that when the audience get their votes in and that, I can see why people gravitate toward this one as being like the, touchstone corner piece of the genre, because they can sort of, Black Sabbath, the self-titled album, is kind of the start of heavy metal kind of thing. This is where the band, as they grow, they sort of...
There's also Pentagram.
But they're shooting off roots, long roots that go through time and decades that influence things for years and years to come. And that's where I think people can... I see why this one gets voted in, and I don't disagree with that opinion. As much as I love Fu Manchu, it gave this album a run for its money. But the flip side is, I enjoy Master Reality. I don't think it's faultless, though. I think it's a really good album. I think that, tracks like Solitude, if you wanted to get picky on things, not quite sure how it fits in the overall context. It works. It's a fine listen. It's a great song. But it just, if you want to be picky about, if you want to find a flaw, then that could be one for me. But, well...
Sorry, I'm muting myself.
Yeah, do that, because otherwise we're not a locomotive. But there are things here that, as I said, this is a band, and the tentacles of this album have echoed through time. As much as I love certain songs on California Crossing, it's hard to go past other tracks on this one, like Children of the Grave, Sweet Leaf, Lord of this World, for example. I think that Black Sabbath, in its own way, is leaner. It captures the spirit, and it has history on its side, which makes it like it's not a fait accompli. But if I'm going to argue which one I'm going to go back to again, kind of thing, which one grabbed my attention, even though I know it better, it's going to be Master of Reality. But it wasn't a walk. It wasn't a walkover at all. Like, not even. It was really, really close. I listen to these ones over and over again, and it really comes down to just which one for me I think has the 2-3 stronger songs out of the whole collection of these two albums. And for me, it's just Black Sabbath. I think, like I said, the tracks I left before, like Mongo's California Crossing, especially Squash That Fly, they're fucking phenomenal tracks. I love them to bits. It's just that when you're going up against things like, Children of the Grave, it's really hard to go past that. Now, that said, my opinion in this case is going to make it really interesting, because assuming, I don't know yet, but if we're going to go with Black Sabbath going through to the next round and beyond, I don't think Black Sabbath is a walk-on winner from going forward. I think it's going to come up against some albums that are going to give it a real good push, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens next over time. But for me, I am going to go with Black Sabbath, Master of Reality, but it was actually a close battle at the end of the day, and so I am in that mindset, not convinced that Black Sabbath is a walk.
I don't know.
I think maybe for us, but probably not the audience.
I don't know how. Yeah, how could I go against? How could I say anything different about Sabbath now? Because Anyway.
Yeah, but anyway, it's we just have opinions and we just see where it goes.
Absolutely.
But Bell, the winning call is yours. Over to you. It's a tie.
Guess what, boys? I actually haven't decided which of these two albums I'm going to pick, because
you need to.
I know I need to now. I actually think I'd have to. I mean, I didn't know what the order was going to be, but
it's predetermined, but it is randomly drawn out. You know me.
It all hinges upon your decision now. It all hinges on you.
I couldn't pick, but then I just thought
it wasn't just me that felt it was a close
I may not
obviously.
have to. Yeah, it's. Oh, this is.
It's not a one-way street. It's not a one-way street. This one.
No, and this is not even taking into consideration Jeff and Conrad's view of, well, it's not stoner rock, so it doesn't count. Even that aside, I still, couldn't pick anyway. I have some notes, like Jeff, and I will sit here and read.
Let us know you do it, please.
So Fu Manchu, I'll start with. I'd never heard of this album and never even heard of the band until this week. So I was quite nervous hitting play on this after last week's unknown album by the terrible Electric Wizard. So thankfully, I didn't need to worry, because only a few bars in, I was treated to some excellent upbeat hard rock.
Yep.
I think these guys have such a cool vibe going. The music is pretty straightforward rock. Nothing really different about them in that regard. But they sound like a bunch of mates with some decent musical chops, having a great time writing and playing songs together.
Yep.
But what I think gives them their unique sound is the singer's delivery. I think he brings a uniqueness to this band's identity. His style of half singing and half speaking vocals really complements the music. And then occasionally you get backing vocals, which are for the most part straightforward singing, which kind of gives a more musical aspect to the vocals. And that's always nice to hear. And okay, so what this music makes me, when I listen to it, I feel like I want to be standing in someone's backyard, holding a beer, talking to mates, and just, on a sunny afternoon. That gives me that kind of vibes. It's just a really easygoing kind of feel about it, and I just feel happy and relaxed after listening to it. And also, before I even sort of looked and did the research on this, when I was listening to it, it brought to mind that it had a certain sound about it that I strongly identify and pinpoint to a particular era, being the early 2000s. So this is when I didn't know when this came out, but it just kind of
2001,
sound about it, and I could just picture them sort of playing on one of the secondary stages at Big Day Out of that time.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So anyway, and I would have, if I had have seen them live, I would have gone out and bought their CD because I think they're really good. I really enjoyed this. I do have one tiny niggle, and that is, even though it's relatively short and I liked every single song on it, it did get a little bit samey towards the end. But in a contradiction to that statement, I was sad when it was over. So
fair enough.
That's my brain. All right, so Master of Reality. Also, I was not looking forward to listening to and reviewing this album, even though I have heard it before a long time ago, probably back when I was a teenager, which was in the last century. Don't tell anyone. So it's been a while, and that was kind of this and other stuff was my introduction to Ozzy Osbourne. And I just, if you guys got that singer where it doesn't matter, they just rub you the wrong way. Their singing just grates you. Like
Rush.
I think Geddy Lee for Dave, but you know what?
Ozzy's a much better singer than fucking Geddy Lee.
I disagree. I would listen to Geddy Lee any day over Ozzy, but it's all subjective.
The question Ozzy's balls are dropped.
Come on, look. What shirt am I wearing?
Here we go. Yeah. All right. Anyway, Belle.
From the Rush fan. Anyway, so I've made it no secret I don't like Ozzy singing, and for the most part ruins any song he's singing on, no matter how great the song is.
Wow.
But I wanted to give this album a fair review based on its musical merits, so I decided to try to compartmentalize it while I was listening, really tune in to the instruments, and generally try to accept the vocals as part of the overall sound. It's not a long album, so I'll just go through and make a brief comment about each song because that's just the way my notes turned out. All right, so cracker of an opening track, Sweet Leaf, such a classic heavy metal staple, with one of the best and most recognizable guitar riffs ever written. Too bad Ozzy's vocals sit over the top of it all like fingernails down a chalkboard in a rowdy classroom.
Here we go.
After Forever is an interesting song. It comes in all happy, like it could have been a song by The Who or Rush. And then that heavy, dark riff comes in, and Ozzy sounding as evil as he ever has. And then it flips back again into Happy Land.
Yep.
It's such a contrasting song, and I don't know how to feel when I'm listening to it. And I actually find it quite unsettling, but in a cool way. And the panning and the solo really adds to that unsettling feeling. Also cool. I think Embryo sounds like a kid practicing guitar in his bedroom only a month after receiving his guitar for Christmas. And
wow.
But Children of the Grave is a fucking cool song. Another classic riff, jungle drums. Impossible for me not to feel this song from the inside out. Orchid is simply stunning and definitely should be on this album. No bedroom guitar hero here. Lord of this World. I love the composition of this song. Love the way the tempo changes. In fact, it's mostly a slower groove appeals to me personally. But sadly, another example of Ozzy's wailing, ruining an otherwise perfectly good song. Solitude. You'd have to be a complete fuckwit not to find beauty in this song. And, of course, the vocals. I love Ozzy singing when he sounds nothing like Ozzy.
It was a very different tone. That was one of the
so I can listen to that. It doesn't sound like him at all. Yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed that 100%. And Iommi is amazing because I believe he actually played the flute on that as well as the guitar. So props to him. He's a lad. We all know he's got talent, but I didn't realize that he played flute as well. Into the Void, back to Doomy, Riff Heaven, and again with the tempo changes. I actually hadn't previously noticed or realized how much Black Sabbath did this, and I really got into it. All right, so I've deliberately not listened to a lot of Black Sabbath for obvious reasons. And while I found that I still didn't like Ozzy's singing at all, I was able to tune it out to an extent and enjoy the music like a lot. I really, really, once I was able to kind of just go, all right, you just need to be objective here. I just fucking love this album. And so
bit of a dream theater effect. We're expanding. Yeah, we're expanding things for you.
I just need to figure out a way to listen to something that makes what I don't like about it
can I just
tolerable to start with.
I need to ask, what's wrong with Ozzy's voice? He doesn't have to be the best fucking singer, but he gets it across with passion and enthusiasm.
It's not that. It's not that he's not the best singer, because he's not. When you think about the three, big bands of that era, I mean, he has got nothing on like Robert Plant.
He didn't need to.
Dylan, but no, that's not it.
You know it's Ozzy, and he fucking just nails it with his passion.
He doesn't
say the same thing about Geddy.
He doesn't he's a showman. Andrew said it. It's his tone. There's something about his tone.
Really? I've never had a problem with it. In 45
minutes. Most people don't. It's just I want to quickly can't stand it.
I think that there's a point to be made that individual tastes are as individual as the person. So, for example, Dave, the argument you're making about Ozzy Osbourne is the same argument like Jeff could make to you about Geddy Lee. And I know you'll disagree with that, but it is personal to how you hear things in the world.
Yeah, I guess, but
completely unique.
I don't know. Ozzy's way more known than Geddy Lee. He's a fucking mega global star.
The question is,
popularity doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't be that popular if people hate your voice.
No, it's like watching a movie and there's a Hollywood actor that you just for some reason you just can't stand, and even though
like Tom Cruise, everyone knows you can't.
Exactly, like Tom Cruise, I can't stand him, but he's like a great actor.
It pisses me off. It pisses me off.
He makes good movies though. That's the problem.
Yeah, and so you know, you might watch it occasionally.
I don't know. I've never heard anyone not have a problem with Ozzy's voice. I've never. It's weird. Okay, I'll shut up.
Conrad, you want to say something there? Just accept it. Sorry. Just quickly, Conrad, you were trying to say something there as well.
I feel exactly the same way when people criticize Mustaine's voice. I love Mustaine's voice. I think he's got an incredible voice. It's brilliant.
Apart from Hetfield making fun of Mustaine, but that's all in good fun. But Mustaine's awesome.
Yeah, he's got an amazing voice, but people don't like it. And it really annoys the shit out of me. And people will say it, and I go get some taste, you know.
Well, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's not about taste. It's about what
individual preferences.
This is why music is subjective, and everyone has
exactly. Yeah,
everybody. You know, some people don't like Geddy Lee's voice. I have no issue with Geddy Lee's voice. I quite enjoy it. So,
exactly.
But this is why we all have different tastes and genres that we appeal to more.
Look, the world would be a very boring place if we all agreed on the same.
Exactly. Very good point.
Everyone had to eat the same food. You know, everyone had to agree that it's great.
One thing I like about metalheads is, well, some of us get so passionate. We're a very, very passionate lot about music, and we get annoyed when somebody says something that we don't agree with. We're like, "Hey, shut up!" You're like, "Shut up! This is
you're wrong.
What are you talking about?"
That's the fun of it all, though.
That's what makes
our version of
punk. No, especially when you're as big as fucking Ozzy. It's like, how can you say something bad about him? It's like Ozzy's God.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't flick her switch. That's
I know. I get it.
Some people don't like Axl Rose, and Guns N' Roses are arguably the biggest rock band out there.
Yeah.
Like, how did they become that way with someone who's a shit
you got
singer?
99% and 1% can be wrong. So okay, that 1%, enjoy.
I think we all know that music is entirely subjective, and that's the entire point of this exercise.
Yeah.
But we're still circling, and Belle, we need a decision. So where are you going?
I know. Well, I'm loving that you guys have just jumped in because.
I'm not going to let you
make a decision.
I've been able to have some time to think, and you know what? Shit, I still don't know which way I'm going. Oh, maybe we could do it different. And I can
toss a fucking coin.
Make a fucking choice.
Actually, I was genuinely thinking of doing that. Or throwing to the
audience. You got to make a choice.
No, it needs to be my decision.
Yeah, I think you need to own it. I do think you need to own it.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it a Stoner Rock album? Is it not a Stoner Rock album?
Well, I'm not even taking that.
Her decision, her opinion.
Yeah. It's about the album and the music, regardless of of the genre. I really think the songs on Black Sabbath are better. I'm going with Black Sabbath.
Okay.
Cool.
There we go. So we have a winner at the end of the day, which is I'm glad it was a tighter battle than I know again, I spoiled it before. The audience was completely lopsided. I think we got half a vote Bell for Fu Manchu, and I think it was because of am I right? It was the comment that said no contest but didn't stipulate which band.
No, it wasn't that. I disregarded that because I thought, you know what? You need to be specific. It was Lee. It was Lee because he wrote a lot. I've been really enjoying Lee's comments.
Yeah, Lee's been cool last couple of weeks.
Lee's great.
Yeah, but he didn't really give it a clear response.
Yeah.
But it seemed like he was leaning more towards Fu Manchu, but that's why I put one with a question mark, and I'm like, well, it doesn't matter anyway. It's not like the deciding vote.
No, exactly.
It's all one-sided.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I was trying to be objective, but I agree with Conrad and Jeff that it's not a Stoner Rock album, but as an actual album, the Black Sabbath album is much more diverse listen with different tempos and styles and different types of songs, whereas the Fu Manchu album, it does get fucking repetitive.
Album to album, Black
Sabbath obviously crafted a better album, and bands in the 70s did that better than bands now.
I argued that another time, but
my argument wasn't fair.
Yeah, and the thing is that what I've enjoyed about this one in particular this week, and it'll go on obviously because it's interesting to see how we've all come to our different conclusions on this one, the different approaches we've taken. We don't go away and go, we have to approach it this way. We all just hear the albums and we come to our own conclusions, and then we just sit here and talk about it live without even knowing what anyone else is thinking. No spoilers before we get into the chat. And so what I liked in particular was that even though the audience was completely lopsided, it was a romp. Black Sabbath romped it. But for me, I'm glad that we broke it down in different ways and had reasons for how we landed where we landed, and it was a closer battle than we thought at the end of the day as well. So it made it, to me, interesting to take in. I hope everyone out there got something out of it as well. But we are
Manchu are a good band. I might have talked them down, but they're good.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I'd happily listen to them.
Imagine if you had a country music battle, all country albums, and somebody put Led Zeppelin Volume 4 in there and asked us to vote. What are we going to do? We're going to pick Led Zeppelin Volume 4. Or are you going to go with the country? So that to me was Black Sabbath.
What, Jeff? If you had said Volume, if you had said Zeppelin 3. That would have been an interesting battle.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying.
Apart from the immigrant song, come on, Zeppelin 3 is quite funky.
I get it, but
it's quite laid back and acoustic.
Rock album.
No, it's not a stoner rock.
It didn't fit in the mix.
We're getting way into the weeds.
I know.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the audience comments now to see what's going on here. So let's see what the audience has to say about our little rant here for a while. Benjamin says, "Squash That Fly" is a good track for a shitty little band. So there we go. Coming in with fire there. Michael says, Fu Manchu I listened to and thought, and though few influences first, Iggy and the Stooges. Okay, cool. Yeah. I got The Offspring too, Jeff, and some bits of things like Ace Frehley, which is interesting as well.
Ouch.
Yeah, well, anyway. But Jolie says, Fu Man had Beastie Boys in them, so there we go. Michael said, not Trailblazers like Sabbath, not in the same arena as Sabbath all the way for me. So there we go. Guy overseas says, Sabbath, hell yeah, they get my vote. The dude says, sometimes I think music snobbery ruin music more than a genre. It's only rock and roll and I like it. There we go.
You know what? That's the best comment I've read all night.
I like that.
In the 90s, if the rappers weren't shooting each other, they had each other's back. Whereas we turned our backs on each other, and the whole thing became a fucking shitstorm. It became depressing. So
it still is.
Music snobbery. It really is. I'm fucking guilty as anyone else. Probably more so.
Yeah. There's too many genres now.
Well, it's funny because there's more to this. Hang on, because just quickly, guys.
I like the different genres because you need to define music in different ways, and that's why we have words, and that's why we describe things.
I don't know if you do need to.
You do, because that's why we have words. We describe things, and that's why...
God, we're getting... quickly, I think we're going too far with it now. I think we are going too far. But anyway, Tony, guy says, Tony, I'm a godfather of all the riffs. And dude followed up with this comment here saying, not saying anyone here, which I didn't think we were, but not at all, but saying that there are a lot of snobs around LA and that, for example, now. There are people that are...
I'm a snob.
And we know what we like, and that's fine too, to go to bat for what you like. But I think that the difference here is that, for example, I know that, for example, in this context, Conrad, you love the stone rock genre. This is one of the ones you wanted for us to do. Dave, not an area you've explored at all. I know that for a fact with you.
As well. I'm not loving what I'm hearing in general.
But the point is, we're challenging ourselves to grow and to see where we go with it. And it's not just doing the same thing over again. I don't ever want to come across as us being snobs, quote unquote, because we're always trying to expand our horizons. If you follow our journey, you'll see, for example, Bell in most recent times is the one that sort of really is exemplifying what I'm talking about in a lot of respects of in what I'm saying here. Vinny says the only thing stone about this Sabbath album is the font used in the cover. Good point.
Purple and black is not easy to read.
Yeah, I know. Dude is following up by saying too many technical snobs are making things sound the same. There's no rules, in my opinion. It's creative art at the end of the day. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Michael says, not part of this, but Belle, what did you think of Rod Stewart's vocals on Faces stuff? Same problems you have with Ozzy, or you're okay with them? Do you know where we're going with that one, Belle?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. But in general, I don't like Rod Stewart's vocals.
Oh, wow.
Okay, well, there you go.
Check your stuff out with Jeff Beck.
I just wanted to... Sorry.
Fair enough. Permanent
Dave,
frog.
You've got some CDs handy, I believe they're handy to you. And maybe Jeff has as well. Can you hunt out just whilst we're here now, the Black Sabbath Reunion Live?
Yes. I saw it on Spotify. It's 25 years old. How fucking old are we? I will get it.
Hunt it out. I'm going to show you something.
All right. But while that happens, I got
carry on, Andrew.
That's all right. No, it's all good.
Andrew.
Vinny says, I can't handle Grant Denya's voice. I'd love to jam him into one of those suitcases on Deal or No Deal. So there we go. That's a combination of music and TV. Dude is here saying, the only thing I had a problem with was Dave Evans, the first singer of AC/DC. What the fuck? Yeah, he's an interesting cat. Bash says, Black Sabbath and Ozzy are 170s is the best era. So there we go. And Michael says, Bell, stop and listen to the faces. Don't judge yet. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Send some reference tracks through, mate.
Please.
So we can do some comparisons there. But this is a bit of fun. So just for while Dave's hunting out CDs and Jeff's off doing what he's doing as well. Next week we have a new album into the mix. It was a bye week for the first two albums, for lack of a better term. So next week, Down from Nola, who was one of the ones sort of was in a closer battle, that goes up, that returns and goes up against Power Trip from Monster Magnet. So that's going to be an interesting battle next week. So that's what's coming up for you all then. So that's the number 2 seed versus the number 7 seed. Down already got through their previous round. Monster Magnet got a bye, being one of the most popular ones, so they're going through to this week, and that's what's going to go into next week's. Cool. So it's going to make it interesting. So we'll see what happens. Now I've got to... Oh, here we go.
Right.
Dave,
Can you open that up? Can you open that up for me?
Do you want me to go?
This is the original when it first came out.
I want the crowd shot. Show me the crowd shot.
Crowd shot?
Are you in that
On
crowd?
the book?
Hold on.
Yep,
I can't believe this is 25 years old, man. When fucking Sabbath got back together. Holy shit, that was good. Got the middle album.
Yeah,
Fuck, they look young.
Shot.
I thought they looked old, but they look young.
I saw them on this tour as well.
Was he jumping like a motherfucker? Are you in this, dude?
I'm on that record. Literally.
What?
That what in there?
Really?
There you go. Okay,
Holy
right
shit.
where the fold is. Look where the staple where the seam is. You'll see
The
me down the
staple.
front.
That's what people shoot on.
No, not the staple, but the seam there. The seam in between. You'll see me down the front.
If you say so, dude. Can you spot Conrad?
Yeah,
It's like
where's Wally?
Wally. Yeah, exactly. Where's Wally?
Where's Conrad?
I don't think this is the best platform for this, but we'll try it.
I'm down the front near the seam.
Oh, cool.
Still,
I believe
Dave.
you, dude.
I'll
Yeah.
have to dig mine out as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to dig up the actual.
Yeah, take yours out, Jeff. Yeah, apparently Nikki is in the Kiss
Wow.
Symphony Melbourne
Yes.
DVD as well.
Yeah, she's there as well.
Cool.
Nicole's jumped in saying Ben Shapiro rapping. There we go.
You should hear me rap, man. That's a shit right
no.
there.
I was at Iron Maiden when they recorded on their 666 thing. I'm on the you don't see me or hear me, but I'm at the concert
the
when
Flight
they did
666.
2 minutes.
That's DVD.
Yeah, 2 minutes to midnight.
Nice.
Oh, cool. I
Nice.
gotta watch that again.
All right. Well, quickly, just to recap for Dave and for Jeff, next week's battle is going to be Down Nola versus Monster Magnet Power Trip. That's next week's battle.
Yeah,
so
that's a good battle.
that'll be easy. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are getting toward the end of proceedings. Time to go to the bin before I wrap things up out of here. So let's see how we can do the rounds this one. Let's go a bit different. Conrad, you got something for the bin this week?
Oh, fuck. Come back to me.
I'll come back.
Sorry.
Do you want me to come back? All right.
I got one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Go for it.
Let me think.
Is it Trump?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not Trump. It's fucking Kanye West. He can get in the fucking bin because what
I
happened was
agree.
he stole a sample from Iron Man and War Pigs. War Pigs.
Yeah, War Pigs.
He asked the Osbournes if he could use it. They said, no, you're a fucking anti-Semite fuckwit. You can't have anything.
Yep.
And he
And
fucking did it anyway. So now they're just like, well, fucking see you in court,
Fuck me, you
motherfucker.
little cunt.
And so, yep. So he's a piece of shit. And that's my fucking rant. In the fucking bin, you cocksucker.
Yep. I agree.
For that reason and all other fucking things. He
Yeah.
should be in the bin.
There's probably a few, but that'll do it.
That's right.
All right.
Worthy.
Belle, what have you got?
Mine's a bit more personal, and
Okay.
I don't think I'll be going to court over this, but you never know.
Okay.
No, we won't. I didn't really have anything, so I thought, what's been pissing me off all week? Okay, yeah, I know. I got a blood test done, I think late last week. You know, and you go and you get the needle. Anyway, she fucking jabbed me really hard. It hurt like 40 bastards.
Yeah.
And then took the blood, and then there was this massive bruise, and it's still hurting. I'm like, fucking hell! Like, she must have done some damage there. So she can go in the bin.
Wow.
That phlebotomist or whatever they're called. Yeah.
Bitch.
So
that sucks. Hopefully that feels better soon. Hopefully it feels better soon.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit better today.
Okay, that's a start.
But yeah,
that fucks your shit right up. Like that's not fun at all.
Yeah, it makes you think. Well, shit, has she done some damage to that vein? Anyway,
possibly. That shit never heals.
Oh, thanks, Dave. I feel so much better now.
That's why I said.
Hear him saying, "Hopefully, it feels better soon." Dave's like, "Never heals." Like, here we go.
Cheers, mate.
All right, Dave. Bin from you.
Yeah, I'm following on from Jeff, man. Fucking anyone who steals other people's work and calls it their own, like, there's been fucking styles of music and genres and fucking artists that have just made a career off that shit, and I fucking despise it. So Kanye, go fuck your mother, because you're a worthless piece of shit. But my actual bin that I had planned was I spent last Saturday morning, had a great Saturday morning just going through all my box sets. I got so many fucking box sets that I got for the 2000s and the early 2010s. It was a really fucking fun time. I really haven't pulled these things out in ages, like Thin Lizzy and fucking Pink Floyd and Megadeth and Ozzy and again Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix. And it's not just the musical content; it's all the reproductions of the original handwritten lyrics and the reproductions of the artwork for the albums and the original gigs and the backstage passes. And you don't even have the music on streaming services. So the downfall of just physical media. Because I know Metallica is still doing their 30th anniversaries for all their albums, and that's cool, but not many other bands are. And I got so much shit from AC/DC and like original black and white footage when they're playing high schools. Yeah. It's just, it was such a big thing in the 2000s and 2010s, and they're not doing it anymore. And you can't tell me there isn't cool stuff that they're seeing on in a vault. I agree. But it's just not worth them putting it out because they're not going to, it's not financially worth it. And it's a shame because this stuff is fucking amazing. But, you know, it's convenient that you have all this shit on Spotify and streaming services. I use it. I love it. But at the detriment of convenience versus quality and substance and stuff that's going to fucking live on, because this shit is treasure. And there was so many things coming out 10, 15 years ago, and it's just not happening anymore. And it just pissed me off after going for all this cool stuff. So the downfall of physical media can get in the fucking bin.
Nice one.
Like that.
Good bin.
Very cool.
Good bin.
Very cool.
Conrad, you've had a minute? Anything come to mind?
I think I mentioned it before, but I mentioned it again. The fucking price of concert tickets fucking skyrocketing. Skyrocketing in I've only been out this country for 3.5 years before I returned. But in 3.5 years' time, the price of concert tickets has almost doubled. That time. What was £30 for a show is now 60. You know, was £70 for Iron Maiden, 75 for Iron Maiden is now £150. Iron Maiden are pretty good like that. Iron Maiden and Kiss were pretty good in keeping things relatively affordable.
They really did. I mean, Kiss copped all the shit for being like greedy millionaires, but they really tried to cater for everyone.
Yeah, no, the Kiss and Iron Maiden are pretty good like that. I'll give those two the fair dues. But other people are taking the fucking piss. Tool are taking the fucking piss big time. You know, it's just fucking ridiculous. And it's not necessarily always the band's fault. Sometimes it's just the promoters saying we can get away with charging this. And sometimes the bands don't even know. You know, and that's the thing. I mean, it doesn't take them 5 minutes to go online and have a look and see what they're charging the fans, you know. I like what Billy Joel did. I think Billy Joel did it once. He went out the front and found a bunch of fans out the front and gave them all upgrades, like gave them
weren't they all disabled?
Front row seats.
They were all the people in wheelchairs.
The rich assholes getting hold of them. He didn't want the snobby pricks getting hold of them. He didn't want those inflated. You know, he didn't want them to get the real fans to get them. Yeah, so I think that's cool. So it's when you start dividing things up into sections. You start and it because the haves and the have-nots. It's not rock and roll.
Yeah, good point. Yep.
Yeah, so that's
Completely
my
agree.
rant. That can go in the bin. So,
Nice. Cool. All right, my bin, then we'll get out of here. Quickly, again, I said at the top of the episode, I'll say it again. The shooting at the Super Bowl parade today is just America, and that whole thing is
stupid
just
gun laws.
Oh, I just don't understand it anymore. And I do apologize to any Americans following us yet again, but my goodness, please do something, because it's just horrible watching it from the outside. But I'm not going to leave things on a down note. I'm going to have some fun with my actual bin this week. And that is, there's this new feature that all these fucking people and pages have discovered on Facebook, which is called the @everyone feature. That can fuck right off. I'm tired of being tagged in all these @followers.
Everyone.
I'm gonna fucking
every fucking page they're on.
Fuck right off with that shit. It can go in the bin. It can stay there. It can be killed with fire. It can fuck off, never be seen again. It's the most inane, painful feature. I get enough notifications as it is. I don't need you with your @everyone or @my followers. Fuck off, okay? If your content was good enough, you'd have a good audience anyway. Fuck yourself, okay? No more. Oh my goodness, what the fuck are we doing when that's got to be your way of getting people? And then what happens is, right, all the half-wits online go to this fucking bullshit scam. Win a free caravan if you tag all your followers with the @following. Fuck off, okay? Enough. Fucking well enough. Okay, thanks, Rowan. Rowan's just gone to the Discord and gone @everyone. So,
I saw that.
fuck off, Rowan. I hate it. I get enough. I don't need any more notifications. Just fuck off with it. Seriously, it's going to piss people off if it hasn't already, because it's annoying the shit out of me. It annoys the shit out of Jody. Fuck it. No more. I'm going to start blocking people. I swear I'm going to fucking do it, because it's fucking painful.
Can we go to the comments, because I just saw some of Vinny's?
Yeah, I'm going to them now. All right. Basher said, before we get there, try Jeff Beck Truth album. Rod Stewart sounds great. So there's one for you, Belle. The Jeff Beck album Truth.
Okay, Jeff Beck Truth.
Yep.
I said that. Yeah,
I saw him live. He was good.
Vinny says, my bin was both my Valentine's Day gifts being received with lukewarm reactions. Better off funding that new drug for non-binary people called Tri-Cox again.
I just love you got 2 Valentine's Day gifts.
I know. Where are we going there? Rowan says £60 is double the price, but on the upside, it's also double the weight. Vinny says sperm banks are a good side hustle. Conrad, we could have a Conrad in every capital city. And they'd all be going to gigs. They'd all be going to gigs. Vinny's gone. One more flash of Jeff's shorts, please.
Do it.
Vinny's looking for inspiration for his donation. Vinny's looking for inspiration, Jeff.
All right.
Looking for inspiration.
The first Conrad, we need a Conrad we've never seen.
There we go.
Hey!
All right.
Go on, turn around. We can bark at the moon.
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
Mark it something.
Michael has said 6 out of 10, not high enough, Conrad, for infected rain. In the bin, we regret to inform you your application for the position has not been successful. Back to the dollar line for you. Shots fired. Vinny said 1 for the spank bank. There you go. So you made Vinny's right there, Jeff. So that's it for now. Look, that'll do it. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all the usual things that everyone gets you to do. Links, details, all this other stuff is in our description box. If you like what we're doing to help and want to help out more and get behind the scenes, check out our Patreon page. And don't forget to watch us on telly as well. 10:30 p.m. Thursday nights on Channel 44 in Adelaide, which is as we go through things now. But also 10:30 p.m. Saturday nights on Channel 39 in Melbourne. We're back for another season coming up soon as well. So we're just going to keep rolling on through and keep doing what we do. But thank you all so much for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you again, same time, place next week. Again, the battle is Monster Magnet Power Trip going up against Down with Nola and all the usual stuff. Another guest, a song from Conrad. We'll go through 994 for our albums. I have more songs of the week, all the usual stuff. But we look forward to your company then. On behalf of us all here, thank you to Dave beside me and Bill on the other side of the screen there. Thank you both. Also below me, Conrad, and then next to him, Jeff. Thank you both as well. We look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. I'm Andrew. You know what to do, folks. Until next time, as always,
Drink.
No.
Rock on.
Where is it?
Rock on,
There it is. Great motherfucker.
See you soon, folks.
Beef.